Zich has 16 tackles. Free safety Ryan Barnes has 14. They lead the team. That means that the rushing game of the other team is getting into the secondary.
And opponents are throwing for 235 yards a game. Lafayette would like to exploit that secondary. All right, on the Lafayette side, last week against Penn, there were just too many guys being taken off the field, so the Leopards need to lick their wounds, John.
Yet they're a little banged up as we take a look at center Mike Wojcik. This was going to be devastating. He's the center, but amazingly, Gary, thanks in large part to those knee braces you see right there, he is back on the field today. The Wojcik, the center, Andrew Paulson, the defensive end, Neil Goldsmith was dinged up with a little bit of had his bell rung from his linebacker spot. Running back Tyrell Kuhn had a bruised calf, and Rob Curley, the quarterback, had his funny bone stung. So we'll see how those guys respond today.
They all will be able to play this afternoon, and thank goodness for that knee brace supplied by the Friends of Lafayette football. Mike Wojcik is back at center. What Lafayette wants to do, John, is make the Crimson see red. The Crimson have had turnover problems.
Yeah, and you know, Gary, we talked about strength against strength. The game could very well come down to the Leopard defense, triggered by their outstanding core of linebackers. There you see Neil Goldsmith and then Marvin Klesidor with interceptions. Last year, Gary, important to note, Harvard, in an undefeated Ivy League season, turned the ball over a total of 11 times. They already have 7. You talked about exploiting that Achilles heel. We'll see if the Leopard defense is up to it.
All right, the referee, Tony Marzella, and you see his staff. Part of our staff every week is Dan Mounty. Dan is down on the field. Here's Dan's first report.
All right, Gary, some parallels between the head coaches. Frank Tavani, the head coach of the Lafayette Leopards, 9 years at the helm. Tim Murphy, head coach of the Harvard Crimson, 15 years at the helm. Both of these guys were Lafayette assistant coaches back in the day. Tim Murphy says this was his first full-time job here at Lafayette way back to 1981 under head coach Bill Russo in his first season at the helm. He only stayed a year, though, and then moved on. Let's talk about the philosophies here. Frank Tavani tells me that this team is just as tough as last week's Ivy League opponent, Penn, except that this team might be even stronger on offense. Watch the quarterback and receiving combination, he said. We've got to prepare to watch an aerial flight here where Harvard passes the ball for about 3 times more yardage than they run the ball coming into today's contest. Meanwhile, Tim Murphy very concerned about Lafayette's prowess in winning contests, 6 in a row if you count the end of last season. He talks about that streak more than Harvard's streak against Lafayette. He said, we're concerned about Lafayette's ability to stop the run and stop the pass, one of the finest defenses, if not the best defense, that we'll face all season.
All right, Dan, thank you very much for that report. A little more irony to the Tim Murphy story. Tim mentioned his first full-time coaching job was right here at Lafayette as an assistant. One of the fellows who was his assistant also that year and his roommate was Jack Sedlecki. Jack Sedlecki now is the head coach at Yale. Who would have ever guessed, John, that Sedlecki against Murphy on the last football game every single year, Yale against Harvard.
And you know, and what an exhibition that is, what an event that is. And I knew both of those guys when they were here, Jack and Nancy Sedlecki, and we all kind of were young, aspiring assistant coaches. I was in basketball, of course, those guys in football, and it's just so great to see the Lafayette coaching tree extend the way it has.
And believe me, John is not old and unaspiring. He's just old.
Aspiring doesn't necessarily mean successful. We all aspire. Some make it, some don't. But those two fellas have really made their mark in the great, the old ancient 8, they call it.
Patrick Long will tee it up for Harvard. Deep to receive for Lafayette is Sean Adair. Sean Adair is averaging 18 yards for every kickoff that he has received. So it's a beautiful day, the first day game for the Lafayette Leopards this season. They've only played at night, and the kickoff is not a good one. It's low, it's rolling around, and it is collected by Joe Russo. And Lafayette's going to have very good field position to start their first drive of the day, as they'll put the ball at about the 45-yard line. Sean Hayes in on the tackle, and the quarterback for the Lafayette Leopards is Rob Curley. He's completing 60% of his passes, 34 for 57, 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he has only 1 interception on the year. And he told me to watch his legs today. He may get more opportunities to run the ball than normal. We'll see how that unfolds.
Gary, I don't think that was a squib kick. I think that was very nearly a whiff because obviously it gives Lafayette great field position. I think the kicker just almost missed it.
So it looked like your 9-iron?
Yeah, I know about those things.
There's a quick out that's thrown to Sean Adair, and Sean Adair with that catch now is in 7th place all time. That's his 108th catch. Tackled on the play by Chris Lordich, as Lafayette will move the chains 9 yards.
Big news right here. Mike Wojcik, the center, number 78, is back. He's flanked by Brian Wisanowski and DJ Brown at the guard spots. Plensky and Hart Predmore. Gary, those guys have been doing a great job. Sean Adair will get the bulk of the work from the wideout position. Maurice White, the go-to guy from the tailback spot.
2nd and 1, always a good situation. Give the ball to Mo. He'll stumble a little bit, Mo White. He comes in with 395 yards, 2nd in the Patriot League in rushing. 6 yards per carry, a couple of touchdowns. Carl Ehrlich, the defensive tackle, there to make the tackle, and because of that little slip, he does not get the yard that he needed. No gain.
Yeah, the linebackers, the defensive secondary, Gary, again, it's Murphy, Doris, and Schultz from the linebacker spot. Barker, Barnes, Zich, and Barry. Gary, those guys, we don't want to be calling their names. If you're a Harvard fan, you don't want to be calling their names a whole lot, because that means that they're involved in way more tackles than they need to be. This game, if you're a Harvard Crimson fan, has got to be won with those guys up front.
Mike Bolton comes in as a double tight end as Lafayette tries to pick up this first down, less than a yard to go. And John, that's how they always pick up those first downs. They get behind Mike Wojcik, and that will indeed move the pile enough to give Lafayette a first down. Rob Curley comes out of there without his helmet.
Yeah, things got a little nasty down there between the offensive line and the defensive line. They might measure it. It looks from our vantage point, Gary, as he clearly has it.
Lafayette came in making 49% of their third down situations, so 1 for 1 today.
And there you see, as you suggested, Gary, just Rob Curley lowering his shoulder pads and trying to push forward behind Wojcik, Wisanowski, and DJ Brown. Boy, how about that?
He did not get it. He's going to be about 6 inches shy. Let's see what Frank wants to do here early on. Last week, of course, in a critical 4th down situation, he went for it, and Lafayette fumbled the snap and didn't get it. They're going to go for it again.
Yeah, and I don't think Frank took a whole lot of time to think about that. I mean, he wants to hit. It's very important that this team establish itself early on. You talked about the recent dominance of the Harvard Crimson over Lafayette. So Lafayette's offense wants to come out, make a statement. This very first drive is vitally important.
The up back is Russo. The deep back is White. The quarterback is Curley. Mike Wojcik, the center. He goes 295 pounds. Let's see what the Leopards do here. Turn around. They give the ball. No. Curley's going to keep it. In fact, he could have run for maybe a touchdown. He'll get it to Sean Adair. Sean Adair is all the way down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Andrew Berry, their preseason All-American. But Lafayette on that play picks up 21, John.
Yeah, it's Gary. Look, it's a play fake. And look at the Harvard line. Everybody here, hold on. Curley gets outside. Adair just sneaks to the outside. There's nobody around him. I mean, just a great play call. He might have even selected Michael Conti, running a little drag pattern from the defensive line position. The entire Harvard defense committed to stopping the run.
John, I would argue if he ran the ball, it would have been a touchdown. He was that wide open down the sideline. Oh, look at Mo. He just has people drop off of his body as he gets it down to the 11-yard line, finally stopping him, the free safety Ryan Barnes, but not before he picks up 15 yards.
And Gary, this is just, again, it's a little play-action fake. Maurice White fakes receiving the handoff and then just kind of spots up in the middle of that Harvard zone defense, and Rob Curley puts it right on the numbers, and White does the rest.
So 1st and 10 for the Leopards, the ball on the 12-yard line. They'll hand the ball off to Sean Adair. He tries to dance his way around a couple of tacklers, and he'll go down at around the 11-yard line as Colin Zich, the strong safety out of Plano, Texas, is there to make the tackle. That's a gain of a yard.
Little inside handoff here to Sean Adair, trying to get him involved in the run game, and Harvard does a much better job that time, Gary, of stringing that thing out and just holding up the play long enough for the posse to catch up to Sean Adair. But Gary, we talked a lot about Harvard's offense. I'll tell you, the defense is suspect, and to this point in the season, Lafayette's offense has not been chopped liver.
Mo White, the lone setback. He'll get the football, cut up inside. Mo's going to barrel his way down to about the 6, maybe inside the 5. He's going to get to the 4-yard line. He'll pick up 7. Lafayette's going to be looking at a very important 3rd and 2.
Gary, you and I talked before the game, 29 straight games. This Harvard defense, as maligned as they may be, they've gone 29 straight games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. And you made the bold prediction that If that string is broken today, Lafayette wins.
Well, even this year, I'm not sure how maligned they are, but they're only giving up 79 yards a game on the ground, 235 in the air.
Well, that's been the issue, right.
3rd and 3. Watson has it. Can he get to the outside? He'll cut up inside. He won't go anywhere, as he will be stopped with a loss on the play of a couple of yards. And Frank Devani immediately sends his field goal kicking team in.
Well, the old bend but not break if you're the Harvard Crimson, Gary. Lafayette did convert on a 4th down, and a couple of big plays had them knocking on the door. But give credit to Harvard. They stiffened when they needed to, and they're going to force Lafayette now to attempt what appears to be a 23-yard field goal.
Davis Rodriguez is 2 for 2. He's hit a 23 and a 22-yarder this year. It's down, good snap, good kick, it's up, and the Leopards are on top as they move it down the field to get the field goal of 23 yards with 10:18 to go in the first period. You're watching Lafayette football on the Lafayette Sports Network.
We live in your hometown. We're part of your family. Just look. And we're there. We're Capital Blue Cross. We celebrate the rich past we share with you, and we're ready for whatever tomorrow will bring. Here's to the past 70 years together, and here's to the next 70 to come. Capital Blue Cross. Then, now, always.
Beer ist gut! Come out and sample over 70 different beers at the Maryland Brewers Oktoberfest. Enjoy great German food, fun contests, arts and crafts mit bands all day. Plus live music on the main stage with your favorite rock bands. Admission includes a souvenir beer stein und beer tokens. Get extra beer tokens just for dressing in German attire. The Maryland Brewers Oktoberfest is rain or shine at the Timonium Fairgrounds. Brought to you by the Brewers Association of Maryland. Check out mdoktoberfest.com for more info. Beer ist gut!
Because stadiums have 100,000 seats, but no one sits. Because a well-executed option is a thing of beauty. Because coaches don't get fired for one bad season. Because of the rivalries. Because the colors stay with you longer than the face paint. That's why you love college football, and that's why you watch Masson. The Stony Brook Seawolves travel to face the Flames of Liberty Saturday afternoon at 3:30 on Masson. NFL myths. Myth. You must establish the running game to win. Reality. The team with the best running game didn't make the playoffs last year. Myth. The best place for Ravens postgame is the national networks. Reality.
Best Ravens postgame is on Masson.
Ravens Extra after every Ravens game.
Only on Masson. Be there.
Welcome back. 8 plays. Lafayette went 50 yards. Took them 4 minutes and 42 seconds to put the first 3 points up on the board. So a little bit of good news, bad news. The good news, the Leopards are on the board. The bad news, John, is they didn't quite get it into the end zone. How are they doing in the red zone? Well, they're now 8 out of 12, but just 5 touchdowns in those 12 opportunities for Lafayette. And, of course, the real key is now can the Lafayette defense stop this high-powered offense?
You're exactly right, Gary. This ensuing kickoff will mark the beginning of what we think, anyway, is the real storyline of the game. Lafayette's defense comes in ranked among the leaders in the country. And, of course, we've talked about the high-powered Harvard offense. So the storyline unfolds with this kickoff. Nice little crowd here today, Gary. The students are on fall break. So there is not many Lafayette students in the crowd, but the alumni and the Lafayette, the Easton community, has shown out on a beautiful day for football.
Chang Ho is back to receive the kickoff along with Gino Gordon. Chang Ho had a great year last year as a running back, 722 yards. Has been kind of quiet this season with just 26 yards rushing the football. Takes a big hop, and it will be collected by Chang Ho. And he'll get a pretty good pop there at about the 31 or 32-yard line. As coming up to make that tackle was number 62, I believe it was, Lewis Irving with a good crack. First and 10 on the 33. The quarterback for Harvard is Chris Pizzotti. 55 for 89. That's 62%. 690 yards. 3 touchdowns and a couple of interceptions. But 690 yards in just 2 games.
Gary, he's 6'6", about 220, so he's another one of those pro-style quarterbacks. He's a pure pocket passer. He's got a shotgun for an arm.
Matt Luft is his favorite target, and he immediately gets it to Matt Luft. Luft came in with 17 catches, 240 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. 39-yard line is a pickup of 6.
You could see the respect that Carlos Lowe on the edge was giving Matt Luft. He gave him quite a bit of cushion, so Matt Luft simply turned that play inward, and it's an easy 6-yard pickup.
This is the team that sets up the run by passing. Keeping the football, and a good fake by Pizzotti. And he immediately gets it up to about the 49-yard line as he's tackled on the play by Nigel Bryant and Marvin Clesidor. First down for the Crimson.
And there you see that Harvard offense. Matt Luft and Chris Lordich are the wideouts. They do use the tight end occasionally, but those 2 wideouts are among the best we'll see all year. Gino Gordon's the tailback. And again, you know, this offensive line, Gary, they've done a great job of providing the protection that Chris Pizzotti needs.
10 yards on that rush by Pizzotti. So it's first and 10 from the 49-yard line. This time with the football is 22 Gino Gordon. Comes in with 108 yards rushing as play made by Luke Shade. Let's take a look at the defense.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about one of the highly ranked defensive units in the country. Goldsmith, Legiro, and Romans, they really are the backbone from the linebacker spot. But the ends, Jason Mills, Luke Shade, Ian Dell, Andrew Paulson up front, a very speedy and athletic defensive secondary, Gary.
Gordon. Go ahead, John.
Oh, Clesidor and Lowe, especially from the cornerback spots, they're shut down corners.
Gordon got just a yard on the play, and I'm guessing that Harvard moved along the line of scrimmage, and that's why the flag was thrown. It wasn't thrown by one of the line judges, and that usually means that somebody along that line of scrimmage moved. No, it's against Lafayette.
5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. Second down.
So there must have been contact made, John, when they encroached.
Probably so. One of the more effective defensive performances that we've seen last week, Gary, against Penn came when Lafayette just unleashed a torrent of different blitzes. I'm sure that Harvard's had a chance to take a look at those things, and they'll come in probably better prepared.
So 2nd and 9 becomes 2nd and 4. Pizzotti with all kinds of time. Oh, that's a nice defensive play. As coming over to make that play was Carlos Lowe, as he got his hand in there.
But Pizzotti does a great job of staying cool under pressure, but look at the closing speed. We talked about these cornerbacks, Carlos Lowe and Marvin Clesidor, and that time Carlos Lowe makes a great break on the ball, and Pizzotti just couldn't get enough on it to complete the pass.
So a big third down here early on for the Crimson on their first possession, 3rd and 4. Pizzotti back looking. Again, he pump fakes. He's going to try to run for it, and he's going to be very close. It looks like he got it by about a half a yard, John. He didn't fall forward. He got stood up. Carlos Lowe there to make the hit. But that is going to be just enough. That penalty hurt the Leopards.
It sure did, Gary. And I thought at the tail end of that run, when Pizzotti tried to spin out of the tackle, you're going to see this on contact, Gary. Instead of lowering his shoulders and going forward, right here on this pivot move, I thought maybe Lafayette could stop him short. But he has just enough to spin out of that tackle and get it by the slightest of margins.
So the Crimson with a fresh 4 from the 40-yard line of Lafayette. They will hand the ball off, and carrying it is Cheng Ho. And Cheng Ho gets to about the 35-yard line. Will pick up close to 5 yards on that carry, as he's tackled on the play by Mark Legiro along with Leroy Butler. Gain of 5.
Harvard going no huddle now, Gary, right back to the line of scrimmage. Probably more of a balance between the run and the pass than we may have expected, at least here in the early going.
Again, it's Cheng Ho, and again he'll burst through for a first down as he gets inside the 30 to the 28. He's got some fresh legs, as we said. Cheng Ho has not been all that involved in their offense coming into this ball game, but he looks like he wants to be involved now.
If we can pick it up, watch number 53 for the Harvard. That's James Williams from his offensive tackle position. And Gary, he just clears out a hole on the left side, and Chang Ho bursts forward for another Harvard first down.
From the 28-yard line, the Crimson on the move. They like to put their tight end in the backfield to block. Chang Ho again, this time inside the 25. Looks like he got to about the 24-yard line. Andy Roman's in on that tackle, along with Legiro, along with Luke Shade.
Again, Harvard going no huddle. Gary, we talked a lot about the blitz packages employed last week by the Leopards, but if Harvard continues to control the middle of that line of scrimmage, those blitz packages are kind of a non-factor. Right now, Harvard's offensive line just blowing Lafayette off the ball.
2nd and 7 from the 25-yard line. Pizzotti back, firing. He's got a man. That's a nice catch. Reaching out and grabbing the football, I believe, is Schwarzkopf, as Neil Goldsmith was there to make the tackle. It is indeed Schwarzkopf. That's Nikolai Schwarzkopf. That's only his 2nd catch of the year. He's out of Decatur, Georgia, down to the 8-yard line, John.
Yeah, he's a backup tight end, Gary. He's matched up with Neil Goldsmith, and he just has a step on him. But how about the strength and accuracy of the throw from Chris Pizzotti? That's a pretty good hookup between two big fellas, and Schwarzkopf simply ran away from Neil Goldsmith.
17-yard pickup, another first down. It's 1st and goal to go from the 8-yard line. Chen Ho with the football. And again, Harvard moving the pile, but Lafayette that time stood their ground pretty well. As Mike Phillips in there to help out with the tackle, along with 91 Luke Shade.
At that time, Gary, the play in the trenches won by the Leopards. Not a lot of room now for the Harvard offense to work with. When you're this close to the goal line, of course, you don't have that. You can't stretch the defense as much north and south. 2nd and goal to go from the 7-yard line. It's Ho again. Ho this time avoids the ankle tackle in the backfield, as getting him was Luke Shade. He just couldn't quite put him down. And Ho will get the ball down to the 1-yard line. He'll pick up 6. We talked a lot about the vaunted passing attack, but the majority of this drive, the damage has been done on the ground. So a real impressive opening drive by the Harvard offense, done mainly on the ground.
So a big 3rd and less than a yard to go for the touchdown, as Harvard will stack the backfield with a power I leaving the backfield. Jason Miller, their tight end. Chang Ho steps up inside for the touchdown. They go 67 yards in 12 plays, and the Crimson on the board.
You really have to tip your cap to the offensive front of the Harvard Crimson. They did a great job this entire drive of just providing the kind of push. And, Ho really never had a glove laid on him. And when that happens, you kind of tip your cap to the offensive line.
He had 7 touchdowns last year. That's his first touchdown this season for Chang Ho. So the point after by Patrick Long. The kick is up. The kick is good. 4:52 to go in the first period. We promised you an offensive football game. It looks like that's what we're going to have. 7-3 Crimson.
For many men, an interview suit is a first step toward a second chance. Donate your gently used professional clothing during the Men's Warehouse National Suit Drive and receive a 10% discount toward your next purchase. I guarantee it.
Morgan Franklin, not your personal financial planner. We're not a famous Hollywood actor. Morgan Franklin, your partner. High-stakes financial reporting, risk management, and secure communications objectives. Morgan Franklin.
Because they play for pride, not contract extensions. Because the cheerleaders actually cheer. Because every game is a playoff game. Because even the halftime show makes the highlight reel. Because the chances of your team relocating are 0%. That's why you love college football. And that's why you watch Masson. Be there as Louisiana Monroe visits Arkansas State in a Sun Belt battle. Saturday at 7 p.m. on Masson. 317 games. 2,914 innings. Over 11 million reasons to say thank you. Over 11.5 million viewers watched Orioles and Nationals games on MASN this season, making MASN Baltimore's and Washington's #1 regional sports network. We asked you to be there. You were. Thank you.
We are back. Patrick Long tees the football up. That drive took 5 minutes and 26 seconds. Long, of course, who missed an extra point last week, which forced Harvard to go for 2 to tie the football game against Brown, and then they did not make it. He made that extra point. It's 7-3. Here's the kickoff, much different than the first one. Sean Adair will take it at the 9-yard line.
Free play, Harvard's offsides on the kickoff, but Adair may have the edge.
Adair trying to get away, and it is going to be a Harvard offside, so Frank Tavani has a decision to make here. Is not bad field position at the 30-yard line. As the tackle made by John Fonensteel. They're going to make him kick again, I think.
Offsides, number 29 on the kicking team. 5 yards will be added on from the end of the run. First down.
All right, they added on to the end of the run, so it'll go to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, watch Harvard right here, Gary. Stop it now. Absolutely. Here, the step's coming down, and the kick is not made yet, so there's your offsides infraction. And Frank feels like the 35-yard line is not a bad starting position.
So the Leopards with their second possession, they were able to go 50 yards on their first possession and get a field goal out of it, but they're now down by a 7-3 score. Really spreading the field on this 1st and 10. Rob Curley back. Good protection. He gets hit as he releases. And the pass is incomplete. Curley got banged, and banged pretty good by Desmond Bryant, who came in to make that hit. He's out of Elizabethtown, North Carolina.
Pass was intended on the near side here for Michael Conti. Last week, Lafayette did a nice job of incorporating the tight end into their passing game. Decent protection until the very end, and Mike Conti has a step, but Rob Curley was under some pressure and just overthrew the football.
That was the first incomplete pass by Curley. Give the ball off to Mo White. Mo's going to get the ball to the 38-yard line. He'll pick up 3, and Lafayette will look at a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, we've talked about the Harvard defense and the fact that they've given up lots of yardage, but you pointed out, Gary, that in fact most of those yards given up have been through the air. And in the early stages right here, Lafayette mustered 6 yards total on their first drive on the ground, and the yards again are coming grudgingly on the ground here early in the second drive.
In contrast, Lafayette giving up just 55 yards rushing. Harvard got 39 yards on their first possession. Curley back. A lot of protection, and the pass is high. Boy, wide open, John, standing right in the middle of the field, and he'll go back certainly to the sideline, and Michael Conti will let everybody know that nobody was covering him.
Yeah, and Gary, look where everybody is. I mean, they're all back here, and the defenders are giving big cushions. Hold on. I mean, this is a play that Rob Curley's going to make. It's just a simple out pattern. It's overthrown. He wasn't under any pressure, so early on, Rob Curley a little inaccurate.
Tom Kondash, the Lafayette punter, a fair catch will be called for, and we're going to get running into, this is going to be interference against Lafayette. Andy Romans ran into the punt returner, and that will be a Lafayette penalty.
Yeah, they're going to call it interference with the ability to make a catch, and obviously it's going to cost Lafayette 15 yards. And again, this Harvard offense comes in with great field position.
Not a good punt at all, just a 23-yarder for Kondash.
With the opportunity to catch a kick. Number 17 on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the kick.
That poor kick is what led to the interference, because I think that very simply Andy Romans is anticipating that kick going a little further and just couldn't stop his forward momentum. He runs into the receiver, and Harvard suddenly in Lafayette territory.
Yeah, they're back in business right now from the 46-yard line of Lafayette. And that 5-yard penalty, the first time Harvard had the football, certainly helped their drive. Pizzotti, he's going to flip the ball out here, and that's his big tight end, Jason Miller, and he's big, 6'4", 245 pounds, out of Zionsville, Indiana. Tackled by Andy Romans. As the ball to the 38, that's a gain of 8.
We're going to take a look at Andy Romans and watch the pursuit laterally. I mean, he's on the left side of the field. There you see that hatchet move where he tries to force a fumble. That gives you an example of just how athletic and how proficient Andy Romans is running sideline to sideline.
The handoff goes to Gino Gordon, so they're alternating their tailbacks as Mark Legiro is there to make the tackle. Going to be close to a first down on a 2nd and 2, and in fact it will be a first down. He got 3 yards.
Football coaches will tell you that the quarterback is part of the pass protection, and right now Chris Pizzotti is absolutely controlling this game. It's a series of quick drops, quick releases. The Leopard defense, which had Rob Irvin last week under all kinds of duress, hasn't come near Chris Pizzotti.
That is almost intercepted, but instead it is completed. Matt Luff with a great catch. Carlos Lowe thought he had a beat on it. He thought he was going to come up and make the interception, the pick. He did not. That's a gain of 10 and a first down.
This is just a classic case of a quarterback and a receiver being precisely on the same page. Luft comes back to the football. Chris Pizzotti throws it to a spot. He doesn't throw it to Matt Luft. He throws it to a spot, and Luft eventually gets there right before Carlos Lowe can.
Luft's second catch of the day is 19th of the season. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Going for it all, and it's going to be a little far over the head of Chris Lordich. Lordich, who had 13 catches coming in. That one over his head. Second incompletion thrown by Pizzotti. John?
Yeah, watch the play here. Here's just a little chip block. I'll tell you, Carlos Lowe is about to waylay Chris Pizzotti, but Gordon just gets enough of him to knock him off course and almost save what could have been a touchdown play. It was overthrown. That gives you an example of the kind of pass protection that Chris Pizzotti receives, not only from his linemen, Gary, but from his running backs as well.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Turn around, hand the ball off to Gordon. And Gino will get a couple of yards before he runs into a host of Lafayette Leopards. Led out there by Nick Oliver at his linebacker spot. Gain of 2.
Big 3rd down play here, 3rd and long, so it'll be interesting. This is probably Lafayette's first opportunity on the defensive side of the ball to get a little creative. Down and distance to this point has totally favored Harvard, not on this snap.
Harvard hasn't given Lafayette a lot of opportunities to use those many blitz packages that they have. Pizzotti back, he'll fire, and it's going to be incomplete. As almost a completed pass to Levi Richards. And then coming across was Nigel Bryant. Marvin Clesidor also in the area, and Lafayette manages to break that pass up. Here we go.
Gary, Lafayette comes without a blitz. Let's see if we can stop it. Well, not right here, but Gary, there's 7 people in the defensive secondary, and that's max coverage. So rather than bring the blitz, John Luce calls for maximum coverage. Pizzotti could not find anybody open.
Patrick Long, he's perfect, 3 for 3 on the season, a 41-yarder. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Long now, 4 for 4 on the year. Patrick Long with the field goal to give Harvard a 10-3 lead. We had an opportunity this week to talk to Frank Devani. He beat Penn last week. They gave 19th ranked Villanova all they could handle. So we asked him about his this team being a special group, and this is what he told us.
Easy to look at because you're looking at that game tape all week and you're realizing you're very impressed with Villanova and you're very impressed with Penn and realize that Penn certainly could have won that ball game. So I think what that does in preparation mentally for your players watching film of that, they know we have to play at a high level. You know, unlike a USC that sat and watched the Penn State play Oregon State and kind of watched that film and thought you're going to walk in, that mental preparation subconsciously sometimes is your worst enemy. There was no doubt in our kids' mind after watching film that we were playing a very, very good football team and would have to play at a very high level to win, and I think we were able to rise to that occasion.
That drive by Harvard, they went 23 yards in 7 plays. Actually, John, when you look at the field position they started with, coming away and giving up just 3 points, not all that bad for the Lafayette Leopards.
Yeah, they started that drive on Lafayette's side of the field, and the defense stiffened enough to just force Harvard to settle for the field goal.
Sean Adair from the 10-yard line. He's looking to come to the bottom of your screen. He'll dance over a couple of people, fly high in the air, and get it to the 26-yard line, where Lafayette will put it in play. 1st and 10 with 1:36 to go here in the first quarter.
This will be the third possession now for the Leopards. They did a pretty good job on their first possession, not so on their second. So a lot of football played in one quarter. We've seen these teams pretty much move up and down the field, and it looks like, as you suggested, Gary, it might turn into a little bit of an offensive show today.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line as they give the ball off to Mo White, and he bursts through that right side as some nice holes opened up by the Lafayette right side of that offensive line. Leo Plensky, DJ Brown, and Mike Wojcik. That's a gain of 9.
Yeah, and you'll see them. They're right. Oh, they're right here, Gary. These guys right here. It's just they're powering through. Look at them pull. There's DJ Brown. Maurice White hides behind him, literally, but great kick-out job by the right side of the Lafayette offensive line. That's got to be the recipe, in my estimation. They're going to have to win on the ground today.
2nd and 1. It's White again. We may get a steady dose now of Mo White. He's got the first down. He's up to the 38. He'll pick up 3. And for Lafayette, that's first down, number 3.
And running the football does two things. Number one, it creates a mentality that you can dominate that line of scrimmage. But secondly, and probably more importantly, it eats up clock, it shortens the game, and it keeps the prolific Harvard passing game off the field. So you're right, Gary. I suspect that we're going to see a lot more of Mo White from this point on.
Curley will work out of the gun. On a 1st and 10. Fakes it, drops the ball quickly. Down inside to Mark Layton. Mark Layton's going to spin and twist and turn his way for a first down. He'll get the 10 yards as he'll get up to the 48-yard line. And Layton, who has very good speed, he's out of Sanford, Florida. He's just a sophomore, 5'9", 170 pounds.
Well, even when we don't see Mo White, we see Mo White because it was the play fake to Maurice into the middle of the line, and that set up the wide receiver screen very effectively. So with a couple of real effective runs between the tackle by Maurice White, suddenly you get that Harvard defense cheating toward the middle of the field, and it left the edge open.
4 catches now for Layton for 51 yards. The first quarter has come to a close, and we saw a steady dose of Cheng Ho on that drive by Harvard to take it in for their first touchdown and their only touchdown. They lead it by a 10-3 score. Cheng Ho with the score. Stay with us.
You okay? What's all this?
Lunch. Yeah, I'm done with eating. It's not worth it anymore.
That's too bad. This Quiznos sandwich tastes really good.
I bet it does.
Why don't you give eating another chance?
I was gonna put on a second bag.
Give me the bag.
Ah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Toasted to perfection with creamy bacon Alfredo sauce. The chicken carbonara. Quiznos. Toasty.
Life is full of ifs. If in the blink of an eye, my 6-year-old has turned 16. If my family's future means the world to me. Choosing the right life insurance to protect life's ifs doesn't have to be as complicated or as costly as you think. MetLife is the largest provider of life insurance in the U.S. We help you create your personal safety net by listening to your needs, filling in gaps, and building on what you already have to help you prepare for life's many ifs. After all, we're MetLife.
It's 1st and 10 for Lafayette. We welcome you back on the Lafayette Sports Network. Gary Laubach, John Leone, Gavin McCutcheon doing our spotting today. Dan Mowdy down on the field. Glad you're with us. RCN television team headed up by Rick Kehoe. And that's a play that works so often for Lafayette. Joe Russo, he wants to keep it in bounds. He does just that. He'll get down to the 35-yard line. Tackled on the play by Andrew Berry, as that's going to be a pickup of 18 yards.
Gary, watch everybody go to Maurice White. Here's a play fake right here. Now we're going to stop it. Look at these guys right here. 1, 2, 3. And then Joe Russo just kind of sneaks out of the backfield. Everybody forgets about him. What a great call from up in the booth, because I'll tell you, they noticed that no one was paying attention to Joe Russo.
That's Joe's third catch of the year. 1st and 10 for Lafayette. Give the ball to Sean Adair. Sean Adair cuts back and will get to the 25-yard line. He'll pick up 9 yards. So Lafayette's starting to pick up some yardage in chunks.
They sure are, and they've run this play a couple of times. Look at Maurice White in front of Sean Adair, clearing out the corner, and then Sean Adair doing a nice job in some open space, creating a 2nd down and 2. What a great position this is for any offensive coordinator, Gary. The playbook is wide open. 2nd down and less than a yard. You can throw it, you can run it, you can do all kinds of neat stuff here.
They gained a yard during your discussion. Yeah, it was 2nd and 2. It became 2nd and less than a yard.
Less than a yard.
Yeah. It is 2nd and less than a yard. And they'll hand it off again, as they must have certainly seen a Harvard tendency, John, to squeeze inside as they're running a lot of deceptive plays using their wide receivers. Derek Barker on the tackle of Tim Watson. And Tim Watson, who came into the game having not run the ball at all, will pick up 7 yards and a 1st down.
Well, you can see from that replay right there that Harvard is totally committing to stopping the run between the tackles. And I think you're right, Gary. I think somebody upstairs said, you know what, if they're going to clog the box like that, we're going to try to get the ball out to the edge. And in this drive, Lafayette has done so very effectively.
So the Leopards looking at another 1st and 10. Fake the ball, Curley back. Looking, he'll fire, and he throws the ball away as he knew he was going to get hit, and he just got rid of it rather than taking the loss. He was trying to find Sean Adair, but barreling in on him with Desmond Bryant. And Desmond Bryant sort of forced Curley to get rid of it.
Yeah, and Ryan Barnes is the defensive back, and boy, Rob Curley sees him right here, and there's no question about what Rob Curley did right there. He simply threw that ball into the 3rd row of stands because Barnes was closing in on Adair.
So it'll be Adair and Watson out wide to the right side. Clayton on the left side. Fake the ball, Curley back. They want to throw a screen, and this one is going to be intercepted or not. They're going to say he caught the ball in bounds. That's going to be an intercepted pass by Andrew Berry. That's Berry's 2nd of the year, and Lafayette saying he was way out of bounds, and Frank Tavani is down there and says, take a look at the replay.
We'll have a chance to see it. He's up, and he's out.
Oh, that's not even close.
Wow.
That's not even close, John.
My.
That is, the entire right foot is out of bounds.
By about a yard. And there you see Frank Tavani, and the field judge completely missed that call, and I think Frank is upset at as much as the call itself is who made the call. It appeared that the person on the sideline never asserted himself.
So the Lafayette drive stopped on the 17-yard line. They don't use instant replay here in the Patriot League, and there's a real nice pass and a defense of the pass as rushing in and trying to defend it, just not getting there in time, was Marvin Clesidor. As the ball to the 21-yard line, they start this drive on the 17.
John Luce has done his homework, and while the cornerbacks are giving somewhat of a cushion, they're closing quickly, and I think the standing philosophy to this point is, give them that cushion. The short passes underneath we'll live with. Just don't get burned deep.
Hand the ball off, and boy, check it this time, it's Gino Gordon. And Gino Gordon will burst up to the 33-yard line. That's a 12-yard pickup and a 1st down. Marvin Clesidor in on the tackle.
Harvard's come in with a kind of double-headed monster, a 2-headed monster attack from the tailback. This time it's Gino Gordon. We've seen a lot of Chang Ho to this point, so they're keeping fresh legs in there. They're kind of bookends of one another. Very similar running styles, and both very effective at this point.
On the 33-yard line. Oh, that ball way downfield and wide open and heading down the field for the touchdown. There are no hankies down on the ground, as that will be a touchdown to Chris Lordich, his first touchdown catch of the year, and that is a 67-yard touchdown.
Gary, that's clearly a blown coverage because there is no way Lordich comes this open. Now, we do see a little hitch right here, but the safety, you see 3 people, and the Lafayette secondary covering the middle of the field. Nobody rolled over to the sideline and you can't make those kinds of mistakes against a quarterback like Pizzotti.
So the extra point attempt by Patrick Long, it's down. And right now the Harvard offense is all that they have been cracked up to be. They're the best in the nation. And they have put 17 points on the board with 12:14 to go in the first half. Stay with us.
If you're a man or a woman losing your hair, listen to this important announcement. Hair transplantation is now better than ever with a new technique called follicular unit grafting. Special microscopic equipment allows Dr. Giannato at HRG to isolate natural units of hair. The result, your new transplanted hair grows back very naturally. Call HRG now for free information. Find out how the latest technology and experienced professionals make a difference in your hair growing back. Dr. Giannato has performed over 25,000 hair transplant procedures and is recognized the world over as a hair loss specialist.
Follicular unit grafting is new, it's more precise, and it gives our patients a better result.
Technology, experience, results. Put them to work for you. Call HRG now for information on the new follicular unit grafting.
This is where legends live.
This is the best backdrop in baseball.
This is my favorite street in Baltimore.
This is going under glass.
These are my childhood heroes.
And these are mine.
This is permanent.
This is reachable. Right, Nick?
This is Birdland.
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 For tickets, call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com.
We are back. 3 plays, 83 yards. Took him a minute and 1 second. Lordich's first touchdown catch of the year. Pizzotti's fourth touchdown throw. As you get a look at Patrick Long teeing it up. And the Leopards in shock a little bit here as they're down 17-3. And there's plenty of time to go, however, John.
There sure is. And I suspect we're going to see a lot more points scored in this game. But Lafayette's offense has to get on track, Gary. And
that call by the official on the interception, and Harvard took advantage of it. And now trying to get good field position is Sean Adair.
We're going to have
Lafayette will have the ball first and 10 at the 28-yard line. John?
Okay, you got Matt Luft running a post pattern right there. Okay, that's the first thing to look for. Now you're going to see a pump fake. We'll run it through. Here's the pump fake. And then hold that right here, Gary. You've got 1, 2, 3 Lafayette people. You see Andy Romans pointing, say, hey, somebody forgot about the sideline. Too late. Nobody in the picture. And a big play for the Harvard offense.
So Lafayette now has to answer offensively. They'll start this drive on their own 28-yard line. They'll work out of the I formation. Back to throw, 2-step drop. Looking to go deep. Looking for Tim Watson. Watson will turn it back towards his quarterback. That's just a smart play by the senior. He wanted to go deep, a little pump faking out and up. He went up. He saw that was going to be covered, and Johnny came back to get the football. Tackled by Derek Barker.
Yeah, Barker was giving plenty of cushion, and he refused to go for the pump fake. So at this point now, it's all about communication between Watson and his quarterback, Curley. He makes himself available, and they'll take a first down, 10-yard gain for a first down.
Watson with his first catch of the day, his 7th of the season. Oh, a burst up the middle by Mo White, and Mo will get it into Harvard territory to the 45-yard line. Tackled on the play by Colin Zich. They'll mark it at the 44, a pickup of 16 yards.
Boy, Joe Russo from his fullback position. Let's watch him. You know, he's number 45. And here he is right here. Watch him just clear out that hole, and Maurice White runs right off his back. And that's a product now of Harvard adjusting to those wide runs. Now the middle's opening up a little bit.
First and 10, fake the White, fire the ball out here to Joe Russo. He stays in bounds, and Joey turns it up to pick up another 6-7 yards. Yards after the catch, Eric Schultz, the outside linebacker, is there to knock him out of bounds. They'll move the chains again. That's a gain of 11.
This has to be a perfect throw. Watch the coverage. It's a simple out to the fullback. Very nearly. That's an all or nothing play by the linebacker covering Joe Russo, and Russo wins that one and picks up, as you said, Gary, yards after catch.
You know, it's not easy to slow down 235 pounds to pick that momentum back up towards the goal line, but that's what he did. Again, the handoff goes to Sean Adair, and Sean Adair shows some bursting speed. He's going to be close to another first down. He'll get that. He'll move it to the 22. Matt Curtis, the defensive tackle, has to put him down. That's going to be an 11-yard pickup.
And keep an eye on number 8 and number 22. That's Maurice White and Mark Clayton. Watch these guys, a wideout and a running back. Clearing downfield blocking. There's White right there. We just missed Layton, but Gary, those guys are doing a great job blocking on the edge. Lafayette picking up huge chunks of yardage in what is a very important drive.
Sean Adair now has 20 yards rushing. Came into the game with none. First and 10 from the 22. The Leopards need to score here. Oh, Mo White ran into a wall. That's number 91, Matt Curtis, 255-pounder out of Peabody, Massachusetts, and he just would not be moved.
Yeah, and nobody, you're right, nobody moved him. I mean, he just plugged that hole up. There was nothing there. Maurice White never had a chance. So that first down play goes for nothing.
And that's the first play of this drive, the 5th play. 4 of those plays, John, the first 4 were all first downs. So the Leopards get nothing on that first down. After 4, and I think we had movement by Lafayette along the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and you could tell by the awkward way that Rob Curley stepped back from center. Somebody had the wrong snap.
First snap. Ball start. Number 69 on the offense.
It's going to be called on
5
Brian
yards from the original line of scrimmage.
Wisenowski.
Replay second down.
Wisenowski out of Cheshire, Connecticut. 6'4", 290-pound junior.
If you're going to execute a long drive, winning first down is critical. You pointed out on the very last snap that they went nowhere on first down. The penalties are drive killers. So not only do you have an unsuccessful first down play on the ensuing snap, you had a penalty. So it'll see if Lafayette can recover.
In passing situations, Harvard has really put pressure on Curley. Well, that's a tough pass to throw and a tougher pass to catch, as it takes a long time to get there. As Matt Hansen comes up to make the tackle on Tim Watson. And you know, as a receiver, John, you're just waiting for that ball to get there because you know you're going to get popped.
You're right. It's a long out, and it's a simple spot-up pattern by Watson. The ball takes a little while to get there. Watson knows he's going to get hit, but has great concentration. 3rd down and 10, big 3rd down play.
Over 100 yards passing now in the first half for Rob Curley. He's at 101. They've got to get to the 12-yard line on a 3rd and 10. That Curley going for the end zone. He's got a man. That's a touchdown, Sean Adair. Oh my! Lafayette with a touchdown pass from Rob Curley to Sean Adair. 22 yards, and the Leopards back in the ball game.
This is one of those plays when you get to the line of scrimmage and you know right now that you've got that lined up. Rob Curley looks out there and he knows he's got Sean Adair one-on-one right here. They know touchdown. There's just not enough time for the safety to come give help. It's one-on-one. He beats him right to the flag, right to the corner of the end zone. Perfectly thrown. Great concentration by Sean Adair. Lafayette is right back in this thing.
Davis Rodriguez in to kick the extra point. It's up. It is good. It's 17-10, 9:01 on the clock. The Leopards answer with a 7-play drive that goes 72 yards. How about that, Dan Mowdy? Here's Dan.
Quite a contest, Gary. I'll tell you what, very different from last year, which turned out to be a seesaw battle in the first half. Lafayette scoring early with Joe Russo plunging in from the 1-yard line. Some other returning players that had a big role in a big first half for Lafayette. Nigel Bryant, he stomped on a fumble, picking it up for Lafayette, and that set up a Davis Rodriguez 27-yard field goal. Lafayette going back and forth, though, with Harvard. They led after the first quarter, 10-7. Harvard took the lead in the second, and then Lafayette came through with DePalo and Rader getting together on a connection. Those two guys, of course, have graduated. Another player that made his name known, of course, was Davis Rodriguez with that 27-yard field goal in the first half. Harvard went on to win that contest 27-17, but here the Leopards showing some life here in the first half. Now back to you.
They are indeed. Let's go to some out-of-town scores here, John, brought to you by Easton Coach. As we take a look at the Patriot League, Lehigh at the half over Cornell by just 2. Holy Cross taking a whipping from Yale at the moment. Georgetown Colgate postponed as they've got a norovirus down there. Didn't quite catch that last score. Left the screen early. As with the football is Chang Ho, and Ho will take it up to the 30-yard line, where Princeton will have it. Looks like they'll mark it at the 31. Mike Schmidline is there, or Harvard has the football. Mike Schmidline there to make the tackle.
That last score, Gary, was a surprising. Marist 14, Bucknell 7, somewhat surprising. So the Patriot League at this point.
Marist could pretty much be in the Patriot League this year.
That's
with all
right.
the Patriot League schools they're playing. Of course, they're an independent this season. Then they'll go to the Pioneer League next year. That pass overthrown, so Pizzotti is somewhat human.
Well, I think the adjustment that John Luce has made, at least from that first snap, Gary, is they're not giving the Harvard wideouts such a cushion. They're pressing up a little bit. They're going to force Pizzotti to make plays. That's always a dangerous prospect. We know how good a quarterback he is. And I think look for the Lafayette defense to become a little more aggressive if they can kind of change the momentum of this game.
Pizzotti is 6 for 10 for 112 yards. Has that touchdown of 67 yards. 2nd and 10. Hand the ball off. Chang Ho. And this time he doesn't hit that hole nearly as quickly because there wasn't much of a hole there at all. And Lafayette fills it very quickly as the charge is led by Jason Mills, the defensive end out of Stony Point, New York, along with Andy Romans.
Clearly a passing situation now, so it'll be interesting to see. John Luce now rolls the dice. Let's see, does he come with a blitz? Does he go max protection? Fun time for a defensive coordinator.
Harvard has not been stopped on a possession.
Blitz. They pick it up.
Back firing. Man's open, and that's going to be a good catch. As a deep down and out by Lordich, and Lordich will take it in the Lafayette territory, a 21-yard pickup.
The problem, you knew right away, Lafayette comes with an all-out blitz, and when Harvard picks it up, Gary, you're going to see them. They're all coming in right up the middle. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. At this point, you know Lafayette's in trouble because Pizzotti has a gun.
Stepping away from a potential tackler is Ho. Finally gets tackled by Mark Legiro. They'll mark the ball at the 44. That'll be a gain of 4. I am impressed, John, with the way Chang Ho hits a hole.
He is so quick. And he's small. He's one of those scat back types, but he's got deceptive power. And right now, he's really providing great balance for this Harvard offense.
This time they hand the ball off to Gino Gordon. And Gino Gordon bursts through for another Harvard first down. This is a very impressive offense. Nigel Bryant is there to make the tackle down to the 32-yard line. That's a 12-yard pickup.
Yeah, it's just a little draw play or a little delay. And right now it doesn't matter who's running behind that offensive line because they are kicking out. We talked about the vaunted Harvard passing game, but boy, we're seeing a pretty good running attack right here too.
Gordon again, and again he's met head on by number 27, Eric McGovern, but Andy Romans has to come in and clean up because that initial hit by McGovern did not put Ho down, or Gordon down.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good hit too. Eric McGovern, one of our players of the game last week, loves to fly around. He loves contact, but watch the hit right here. Doesn't get him on the ground, and Andy Romans always pursuing the football, finishes things up.
Gordon picks up 4, 2nd and 6 from the 28-yard line. In motion, Jason Miller, the big tight end. Back to throw Pizzotti. He's getting rushed, and Pizzotti gets away. He's a big kid, and now he fires and through the hands. That probably should have been caught. Pizzotti did everything he could do, and Jason Miller just couldn't come up with a catch.
Andy Romans just pursues and pursues, but give credit to Pizzotti. Here comes the blitz. Both Legero and Andy Romans almost gets him there. Now he gets outside. Remember, this kid is 6'6", about 220, and he had the agility to escape 2 very good tacklers on that play.
A big play for the Leopard defense on a 3rd and 6 from the 28-yard line. Harvard would be looking at a 45-yard field goal if they don't get the first down here. Pizzotti back. He wanted to get rid of it quickly. Now he rolls to his right. And he's got running room, and he's got the first down. Boy, he is a good quarterback in a long line of good quarterbacks at Harvard, John.
Yeah, we saw one of them play last Sunday for the Cincinnati Bengals. Carson Palmer goes down, so Ryan Fitzpatrick steps in. He's a Harvard graduate. But look what happens here, Gary. Here are everybody's in the secondary. This is max coverage. So Pizzotti's not going to get, he is not going to get a lot of pressure. Right here's the cat and mouse game between the corner. The corner reacts a little late. Pizzotti falls forward. Great patience. A real experienced quarterback at the controls for Harvard right now.
He needed 6. He got 8. First down for Harvard, number 12. 6 minutes to go, first half. Turn around, hand the ball off to Gordon. Oh, Lafayette stuffs him. Big number 95, Jason Mills, in on the tackle. He came in with 2 tackles for a loss and a half a sack. And he's a big kid, too, at 6'2", 235 pounds.
Yeah, watch him, number 95 right here. Boom, shoots the gap. No chance. Great job of shooting that gap by Jason Mills. And a loss on first down for Harvard.
2nd and 12. Pizzotti back. You dump it. Oh, nice play. Good heads-up play by Mills.
Well, Ian
or
Dell.
Is it Ian Dell? It is Ian Dell.
Ian Dell read screen the whole way, and uncharacteristically, Chris Pizzotti pulled the trigger a little too soon. When you're running a screen like that, you want to let this play develop. Now watch Pizzotti go back.
It's almost an interception here.
It really is. Hold it right now. Here's the receiver, but Gary, he's not given time. He's not giving his receiver time to get out into that open area, and Ian Dell almost made him pay dearly.
3rd and 12. Pizzotti stands back, he fires, and he's got his man. He's getting great protection.
Absolutely.
He hits Matt Luft over the middle. Luft will get to the 4-yard line, a gain of 18 yards, and another Harvard first down, tackled by Eric McGovern.
Yeah, here he is right here. And Gary, you talk about protection. This is the route that he runs, and look how long it takes. Hold on, he's right here now, and look at the protection right here. You can't run this kind of pattern effectively if your quarterback is back there running for his life. I'm telling you, Pizzotti stood back there and just let that play develop. It's impossible to cover anybody for that length of time.
1st and goal to go for the Crimson. Give it to Gordon. Gordon will get maybe a yard to the 3-yard line. They unpile Mark Legiro on the bottom along with Neil Goldsmith. Neil, of course, who suffered a slight concussion last week. He said he was all right before the ball game. He's in there, a gain of a yard.
So many Lafayette Leopards dinged up last week, Gary. We thought that we'd see a few of them out of action, but they've bounced back and they're relatively healthy. But right now, the biggest pain they have is this Harvard offense.
2nd and goal to go from the 3. Pizzotti fakes it. He's looking. He's going to fire wide open. But he threw behind Matt Luft. Matt Luft did not have a Leopard jersey anywhere near him. The ball thrown behind him.
It was, but, you know, give credit a little bit here to the Leopard offense, because watch Pizzotti for the first time all afternoon. He's kind of got happy feet, and he really didn't have his feet under him. He threw back across his body, and he was off target, luckily for the Leopards.
Huge play. As you get a look at defensive coordinator John Luce sending in all the signals. 3rd and goal to go from the 3-yard line. Pizzotti down the line. He gets hit. The pitch. And in for the touchdown is Gino Gordon. A 3-yard touchdown run, and Harvard's on the board again.
We called Chris Pizzotti a classic pocket passer, but he has shown us an awful lot of diversity. Here's Andy Romans right here, and he reads option right away. He shoots the gap. Hold on. I mean, Pizzotti takes a huge hit, but Romans can't get there before the pitch is made, and at that point, the tailback has the edge, and Harvard has a 2-touchdown lead.
Nigel Bryant shaken up on the play for Lafayette. So before we try this extra point, the training staff will go out and take a look at the young man out of Dade City, Florida. He's a strong safety, senior, Nigel Bryant. And let's see whether we can See how Nigel got dinged up.
Yeah, it's right there. That's where he kind of gets rolled up on right there. So something happened in that collision. Mark Legero is no small man. So Nigel Bryant, I think, is going to be getting up. It looks like they're getting him to his feet.
Big hello to those of you watching us on the RCN network in Boston and Washington, D.C. We say hello to you. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. And right now, those of you watching in Boston, I'm sure, are enjoying this ball game. As your football team up by 13, Nigel's going to walk off the field under his own power. And Patrick Long will get ready to kick his extra point. Long 2 for 2 today. He's 4 for 5 overall on the season. That drive, 14 plays, 69 yards, used 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
It had some promise early on for the Leopard defense, but a couple of wonderful third down conversions by Chris Pizzotti drives him down the field, and Harvard takes a 2-touchdown lead.
They've got a 14-point lead, 24-10. You're watching Lafayette football on the Lafayette Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
Can't we stay another day?
Sure. Orlando. Easy to get to, hard to leave. Fly one of Southwest Airlines' 10 daily nonstop flights from BWI Airport or Dulles Airport to Orlando. Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther, so book now at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country. Because stadiums have 100,000 seats, but no one sits. Because a well-executed option is a thing of beauty. Because coaches don't get fired for one bad season. Because of the rivalries. Because the colors stay with you longer than the face paint. That's why you love college football. And that's why you watch Masson. Be there as Lafayette faces off against the Flames of Liberty. Saturday, October 18th on Masson. NFL myths. Myth. Whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game. Reality. The Giants had 36 turnovers and won the Super Bowl. Myth. The best place for Ravens postgame is the national networks. Reality.
The best Ravens postgame is on Masson.
Ravens Extra after the Ravens-Colts game Sunday on Masson.
Be there.
We are back. Carver tees it up, ready to kick the ball off. One of our fine sponsors today, Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. John and I will grab a little pizza at halftime as you watch the MetLife Halftime Report. It's coming your way. It'll be a little over 4 minutes till we get there. Lafayette wants to try to negate that last touchdown. Sean Adair from the 8-yard line. He'll bring it out and gets pretty good yardage out to about the 29-yard line. 1st and 10. Tackled on the play by Anthony Spadafino. And here's Dan Mowdy. Dan, how is Nigel Bryant?
Actually, they're checking out Carlos Lowe right now for a stinger suffered on that big collision at the goal line. You could actually hear it here from the sidelines. They're checking him out. The early diagnosis of the stinger, he just went through the tests, and it seems like he's okay. We're talking here about Nigel Bryant, my apologies, the defensive back for the Lafayette Leopards. And Andrew Paulson probably would have wanted to have been in on that last defensive series. This defensive lineman, as you recall, was injured against Penn last week. He suffered the worst injury last week, it seems, partial tear of a knee ligament. And here he is standing on the sidelines watching, eager to get back into action. Now back to you.
Well, Mo White gets the action on the first play, and David Sklar is there to put him down, number 55. As you get a look at that knee brace, is the Friends of Lafayette football, and they're very expensive pieces of equipment. But they bought about 18 of them, didn't they?
And worth every penny. They actually asked Mike Wojcik, who under other circumstances would not be in, but because of that knee brace, he's back snapping the ball today.
Mo White picked up a couple. Out here to Russo. Russo gets popped immediately. Good stick by Derek Barker. Russo will get to the 35, so that's just a gain of 3, and Lafayette's going to look at a 3rd and 5.
The fullback has been available out of the backfield, but unfortunately, this time the defense closed in quickly, and Joe Russo could only muster 5 yards. It's a third down and a doable 5, but again, winning first down on long drives is absolutely critical. And
Leopards can ill afford to give the ball back to the Crimson with this much time on the clock, the way they're able to move that ball downfield. Curley back. They need the first down, and they'll get it on that move. If Mo doesn't turn it back to the center of the field, he doesn't get the first down. So that's all kind of instinctive, because he really, I don't think, knew where the Harvard defender was.
Well, it's just great awareness. Here's Maurice Wright, sells the block, and now just finds the open spot. Hold on right now. What you're talking about, Gary, is here are the defenders, and watch Mo turn back this way. And it gets him that extra 3 yards that just barely gets him the first down and keeps this important drive alive.
From the 41, Curley will throw it to Layton. Layton will turn it
Great block.
upfield. He's got good speed. And that was a very nice block by Mike Conti. He threw it, and that allowed Layton to break through to the 49-yard line. Tackled on the play by Andrew Berry.
Watch number 88 on the edge. That's the tight end, Mike Conti. He does a great job. Good patience by Layton. There's the block by Conti, and that springs Mark Layton free for an extra 5 or 6 yards. Call it 8 on first down. 2nd and 2. Winning first down is critical.
Layton's second catch of the ball game for 18 yards. 2nd and 2 for Lafayette from the 49-yard line. They have all 3 of their timeouts left. We're under 2 minutes. In motion is Watson. Fake the ball to Mo and fire downfield, and it's dropped. That is an unusual drop by Mike Conti. He is as sure-handed as they come. Good call, good play. Not a good result.
It's a drag. It's kind of a deep drag pattern. You see Mike Conti to the left of your screen coming into your picture. Great job by rolling out by Curley to buy Michael that time to come across the middle of the field. And you said it, a very unusual, uncharacteristic drop by Mike Conti.
3rd and 2.
We don't want to Harry do the steps.
That's going to be a completed pass to Sean Adair. Over the middle, he'll get it to the 38-yard line. Hit immediately by Ryan Barnes. That will be a 13-yard pickup. Lafayette has to hurry.
The clock is moving, 1:45. It stops on the first down, but no huddle. Curley quickly to the line. Lafayette will snap it again.
From the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Curley will roll towards us. He'll fire, try to catch it, and get it out of bounds. That's a good catch by Mark Layton. Layton will grab the ball at the 28-yard line. That will be a 10-yard pickup. Let's see if they move the chains.
A score here as you see this sprint out, a classic sprint out. Nice job by Layton to just drag those feet. The young receiver plays largely in the shadow of a guy like Sean Adair, but that just shows great skill. Receivers practice that play all week long, Gary, dragging that foot. The ball delivered where it had to be by Rob Curley, and it's another first down for the Leopards.
1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Clock stopped, 1:33 to go. Fire, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. Boy, that was a nicely designed play, and had the ball been a little bit lower, there would have been quite a bit of running room for Sean Adair.
Yeah, if this ball is delivered low, Sean Adair is still running. It's just a comebacker, a little in pattern, a little in route from Sean Adair, and it was there. Rob Curley just delivered high. Now, he got up off the ground, so he may have had some Harvard defenders in his face, in his defense. Well, that's a play that could have gone for big yardage.
Rob, 14 for 20, has thrown an interception, although it should not have been, for 163 yards. The officials did not catch the fact that the interceptor was out of bounds when he caught it. That was Andrew Berry. Curley back. He's getting rushed, and Curley's going down. Matt Curtis kind of engulfed him as he tried to cut up the middle. And Curley will go down at about the 31. Ryan Burkhead also there.
The pocket just collapses here. Rob Curley can find nobody open, and then the on-rushing Harvard line just collapses, and it collapses the Leopard interference. Gary, Lafayette uses a timeout here because this is a critical third down play.
All right, let's take a look at the Patriot League standings presented by Coordinated Health, the team that cares for the Lafayette Leopards. We were expecting Colgate, who was supposed to play Georgetown today, to go to 2-0 as they would be heavily favored in that football game. But Georgetown, with a norovirus that hit not only the campus but the football team, that game has had to be postponed, and it has thrown the Patriot League in a little bit of a tither-dick, John, because they just don't know exactly how they're ever going to play that game.
Yeah, neither team has open dates on the same day, so right now the Patriot League officials are kind of scrambling, and of course, depending on how the final standings play themselves out, it may not be necessary, but chances are, given Colgate's recent success, given the balance of the league, the Patriot League could be in for some head scratching near the end of the regular season.
All right, the 10th play of the drive, none more important than a 3rd and 14. Lafayette at the very least wants to get in field goal position. Curley will roll to his right. He'll pump fake and now headed upfield. He'll step out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And that is going to be just a gain of 7, so he got half of what he needed. So now they're going to say the 24-yard line. So now we are looking at a 41-yard field goal attempt.
Davis Rodriguez, the Lafayette kicker, a sophomore. In my view, Gary, one of the most improved players, one of the most improved positions on this football team. He has been spot on so far this year. This is one of his longer attempts.
And we're going to get a timeout called as Harvard will try to ice him a little bit, as they will call their first timeout. And why not make Davis Rodriguez think about a 41-yard field goal? As we mentioned, Davis has been perfect this season. He has a 23-yarder today, a 23 and a 22-yarder. So nothing over 30 yards, but he hasn't had to try one either over 30 yards.
And if, our impressions of him, watching him in warm-ups and just the power of his kicks, I mean, he's much improved. His leg seems a lot stronger. Of course, with any kicker, it's all about confidence. And right now, Davis Rodriguez, a very confident place kicker. Points here would be big. Minute 16 left. I mean, you've got to come away from this drive with something. Go back into the halftime locker room and regroup and figure out a way to stop this Harvard offense.
John and I and Dan and hopefully Gavin will be back with you next Saturday when we travel to Columbia. We're on the road after this week for the next 5 weeks. John, I don't want to give up the perfect conditions we have here at Fisher Stadium.
We do get spoiled, don't we?
Boy, Harvard's really icing them. They're going to call another timeout. And this is usually where Frank...
Oh, yeah.
Frank talks to his ball club and said they're doing this to make sure you miss this field goal. Now go out and make the field goal. Show them that you've got the moxie to do it.
I'm not sure he uses those exact words. We remember Franklin Field last year. El Bagnoli opts to take a safety to make it a one-point game and challenge Davis Rodriguez to make that field goal.
And Lafayette goes out and wins that game 8-7.
After some encouraging words from the head coach to his kicker.
Yeah, they were trailing 7-5 or 7-3. Was Lafayette. They take a safety to make it 7-5, and Frank immediately went to Davis and said they took that safety because they don't think you can make these field goals. So Davis made it. Big field goal here from the 31. Good snap, good hold.
Long enough.
Long enough. And it's good. 41-yard field goal by Davis Rodriguez. Cuts that deficit now to 11 as it's 24-13. But the question is, did they leave too much time on the clock for this offense?
A minute and 11, conventional thinking says, of course not. But if you've been here throughout the first half, you know that's plenty of time for this Harvard offense.
Let's take a look at this Harvard defense last year as they got 4 interceptions against the Lafayette Leopards just when Lafayette was getting ready to maybe tie the ball game up, John. They took one back for 92 yards. Here they are, 4 interceptions.
Well, there's the first one. The second one is just a spectacular play. Look at that one-handed interception. There, this is the big one. Mike DiPaolo's just trying to get the ball out of bounds, but he's in the grasp of a Harvard defender, and he can't get the ball to the sideline. Lafayette was driving for a go-ahead score, yet the tables are completely turned. It's a 71-yard interception return, and Harvard snatches that defeat away from the Leopards.
Yeah, one of those interceptions returned Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry, who was a preseason All-American, as he has 2 interceptions now on the year and 1 today. He is out of Bel Air, Maryland. And he is back there. Well, he's not back there to receive the kickoff. It's Gino Gordon, and it will come down to and be collected by Cheng Ho. Lafayette with pretty good coverage on that kick. Ho gets it out to about the 25, and now let's see what Harvard's hurry-up offense looks like. Probably look a lot like their non-hurry-up offense.
It's the same thing. I mean, they have two speeds, fast and faster. And it was important for Lafayette to cover that kick effectively, because the last thing you want in this situation is to give Harvard any kind of field position. But make no mistake about it, this is an offense that can pretty much score from anywhere on the field.
We do have a 67-yard touchdown pass caught by Lordich from Pizzotti. They used 2 timeouts to try to ice Rodriguez, so they have 1 left. Cheng Ho's not going to go anywhere. Good stick by Luke Shade. He stepped up and he put his shoulder down, the 5th-year senior out of Jersey City, New Jersey, with a good hit.
And you get the sense that Tim Murphy and the Harvard Crimson are going to let this clock run down. You know, you talk about scoring from anywhere on the field. Lou Holtz was once an assistant for Woody Hayes a long time ago at Ohio State, and they were at the 20-yard line, and right before halftime, Ohio State's opponent runs 80 yards for a touchdown. Of course, Lou was the defensive coordinator, so on the way into the locker room, Hayes grabs Holtz by the jugular vein and screams at him, "Why'd you let him go 80 yards? Why'd you let him go 80 yards?" And Lou, scared to death, looks at him and says, "Well, that's all they needed, coach."
Oh, and I'm sure Woody broke out and laughed.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not so sure I believe that one from Lou Holtz.
So they're going to take the knee. I once interviewed Woody Hayes, and as a young reporter, scared to death to talk to this guy who had the reputation, I said, "Mr. Hayes, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?" And he said, "Kid, if you ask me something I don't like, I'm walking off the set." So I was very congenial.
Okay.
Very congenial. It's halftime, 24-13. Harvard on top of the Lafayette Leopards. Coming up, the MetLife halftime report. Dan Mowdy's going to talk with the coach and captain of a team that played for Lafayette 40 years ago. We'll be back. Oh, Frank Tavani first. He's down on the sidelines. Here's Frank.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary and John. Head coach Frank Tavani, a seesaw second quarter. Lafayette coming out early, putting the first 3 on the board, but then Harvard kind of kicked it into high gear the rest of that first quarter.
Well, no question. Obviously we haven't made them punt yet, so that's a problem. But, we were getting handled up front on both sides of the ball. I think we made a little bit of comeback, but we got to find a way to make them punt. You don't do that, you got some issues. I think our offense is starting to gel a little bit and do some things. That's an awfully good defense out there. We knew that they're a good football team, and there's a whole half a ball yet.
Heading into that second quarter, it was an interception of some controversy that kind of set up their next touchdown. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm always going to complain whether it's right or not, but they looked at his left foot, which was definitely in the problem, and the right foot, as you saw on the replay, was out of bounds. But hey, that's our bad for putting that ball up in that situation. So of course I'm going to fuss about it, but that isn't the difference now. We're getting manhandled up front on both sides of the ball, and we gotta come back physically.
All right, that's head coach Frank Tavani of the Lafayette Leopards. Thanks, coach. Now back to Gary and John.
All right, thank you, Dan Mowdy. Now we'll go to the commercial. We'll be back with the MetLife halftime report. Stay with us.
Johnny, what's in your dad's famous fennel sausage?
Don't know.
Come on, Johnny, give me the recipe.
I wish I could, but it's so secret, he won't even give it to me.
We take it, stuff it in a grilled chicken breast with spinach and ricotta cheese.
Top it off with a marsala sauce and botini di pollo.
What else are we going to put on the plate?
Mom's favorite, Polo Rosa Maria.
Yeah, chicken breast stuffed with prosciutto ham, fontina cheese, topped with a basil lemon butter sauce.
And we'll call it Mr. and Mrs. C's favorites. At Carrabba's, good things happen around our table.
Advanced technology allows us to view the body in amazing new detail. But for orthopedic care that's truly comprehensive, you have to look beyond medicine to things like communication, experience, and the convenience of an entire health network dedicated to your recovery. From diagnosis to physical therapy to complete joint replacement, no one is equipped to help you heal at the speed of life like Coordinated Health, where it all comes together with 6 regional locations.
There are many ifs in your family's life. If your kids can go onward and upward no matter what. If you get sidelined from work. Ensuring your family's ifs can be hard to figure out. So MetLife removed the guesswork. By packaging the insurances families need most, term life and disability, we've created a comfortable safety net that's filled with promises and bursting with guarantees for the if in life. Call for this surprisingly affordable insurance package from MetLife.
Exposed. Get the dirt on today's hottest topics. Music, movies, fashion. What's hot, what's not. We got it all here. Internet, games, nightlife. Get exposed to it all.
We represent the Coke brand. We would like to sue Coca-Cola Zero for taste infringement.
I'm an immigration lawyer.
We feel that your expertise might be able to be a way to think outside the box.
I think, personally, not that speaking outside the box, and I hate that kind of language. I deal with families and things, and I appreciate what you're trying to do.
And now that I think of it, Ron, the head of the Coke Zero team's Canadian. Could we have him deported?
Da 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 da.
Hi, I'm Joe Craig.
And I'm Chris Michael. Join us and a rotating panel of sports experts and personalities on the next live edition of the RCN Sports Talk Show.
We open up the phone lines to get your opinions on all local, regional, and national sports.
And now we're interactive as we read your emails live on our program to get your sports insights.
Plus, we always get inside information from our guests.
So tune in and call in.
And send an email to us live on the air.
It's the RCN Sports Talk Show every Thursday evening at 6 p.m.
Only on RCN Channel 4.
When it comes to being a better football fan, nothing beats Sprint NFL Mobile. You can watch exclusive game highlights of all your favorite players, like Peyton Manning. That guy's pretty good, if you like 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser, rocket arm. With NFL Mobile only from Sprint, you get customizable alerts and real-time stats on your favorite team. Maybe like Peyton Manning's team, maybe.
Get the power of the NFL in your hand, only with Sprint.
Dan Mowdy has garnered head coach Tim Murphy down on the sidelines. Here's Dan.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. Coach Murphy, an interesting first half. Lafayette goes up 3-0, and that just seemed to raise the ire of Harvard, scoring the next 17 points. Tell me a little bit in general terms what you guys talked about at the halftime break.
We talked that this is a very capable football team in Lafayette. We have to continue to execute and take care of the football. A lot of football left.
All right. Crimson going to be continuing to pass the ball as effectively as you have in the first half?
Well, I don't know about effectively. As long as we take care of the football, we're in good shape.
All right, sounds good. Head coach Tim Murphy of the Harvard Crimson. Now back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. You alluded to the 24-13 lead. Let's see how it all unfolded. Our halftime highlights are brought to you by Cadmus Specialty Publications. When every minute counts, think of Cadmus Communications. John?
Yeah, the first 4th and short, Lafayette pulls a switcheroo. Rob Curley rolls, and they pass on that 4th and short. Sean Adair gets a big first down. That leads to the first score of the game, the Davis Rodriguez field goal. Then Chang Ho takes matters into his own hand. A real effective long drive by the Harvard Crimson puts them up. Here's the controversial play of the first half. Interception by Harvard. Our replays show that's out of bounds. They score on this possession, Gary, and the inability of Lafayette to stop Harvard makes that a very, very important play. And then a mix-up in this defensive secondary. Luft is all alone for a long pass, and
Lordage.
Luft was running a post pattern. He drew the defense. At the line of scrimmage, Rob Curley and Sean Adair recognize a one-on-one. Rob Curley throws it up. Adair makes the play, and then Gino Gordon on the pitch, Gary, takes it in. And then this final 41-yard field goal by Lafayette gets the lead back down to 11. It was an important score. They would have much rather have had a touchdown, but nevertheless, they go in with the field goal, and we stand at an 11-point game.
Of course, Harvard is going to get the football to start the second half, so Lafayette immediately is going to have to find a way to do something they haven't been able to do all day long, and that's force Harvard to punt the ball.
And that has been the story of the game because, Gary, the statistics reflect an even game, but that's not been the case because Lafayette's offense, while moving the ball effectively, their defense has been unable to get Harvard off the field.
You know, Harvard was picked to win the Ivy League. Yale was picked to finish second. Ironically, both teams lost their first Ivy League contest. However, lest you think they are out of it, 7 times in league history, the champions have lost their league opener. So maybe they're right on line.
It's a pretty good pattern. They're right where they want to be.
Of course, last year Harvard left nothing for chance. They won them all. They were 7-0. Out-of-town scores brought to you by Easton Coach, the Lafayette Leopards' choice for top quality motor coach service. At the half, Lehigh 12, Cornell 10. Georgetown Colgate not being played today. 25 seconds to go in the first half. Marist 14, Bucknell 7. Holy Cross losing to Yale 21-7. They're just starting the third quarter. Penn State over Purdue 17-0. 3 minutes to go in the third.
Pretty good measuring stick throughout the Patriot League with Yale and Lehigh butting heads, and Lafayette and Harvard, 2 teams that are perennially in the top 2 or 3 of the Ivy League.
So Lafayette will kick the ball off. Teeing it up is Chris Cosgrove. Cheng Ho and Gino Gordon are deep to receive.
I'm sorry, Gary, make that Yale and Holy Cross butting heads. Holy Cross with a win over this Harvard team by a single point.
No,
they lost by a single point. Right, it was Brown who knocked them off last week.
Cheng Ho at the 5-yard line. And he's out to the 25. He's over the 30, and Harvard will start their drive. 1st and 10 at about the 32-yard line. And Chris Pizzotti, John, he's not quite on schedule to go over 1,000 yards throwing the football in 3 games.
That's pretty scary. It'll be very interesting to see the adjustments, if there are any to be made. And we've been around John Luce, Lafayette's defensive coordinator, long enough to know that if there are adjustments to be made, John Luce will make them.
840 yards passing so far for Pizzotti in 2.5 games. Well, that's a good way to start. Luke Shade comes in to immediately put Gino Gordon down on the ground, and that'll be a loss of 2.
And that's huge. Watch Luke Shade. He comes in virtually untouched, and he gets there almost before Gino Gordon gets the handoff from Pizzotti. So 2nd down and long.
Of course, with Pizzotti, 2nd and long.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say.
A normal day at work. Give it to Gordon. Gordon will try the right side. And he's going to be stopped shy of the first down. He'll get it to the 38. He'll pick up about 7. So they'll be looking at a 3rd and 5. And as we mentioned, they've only been stopped on 3rd down 1 time. They came in to the game getting 3rd downs on only 36% of their possessions.
Well, they've solved some issues during the week for sure, because this offense is as efficient as we've seen all year long.
Pizzotti's going to hand it off, and a great defensive play by Andy Roll.
Guess who?
He had 7 tackles in the first half. He's got 8 now in the football game, and the Leopards have held for the first time today.
Well, that's what you expect from your senior leader, the preseason Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year. When your defense is struggling and you need to make a play, that's what big players do at big moments.
Well, the most obscure player for Harvard today has been their punter. His first. He averages 33 yards. He's Thomas Hall. Fair catch called for by Sean Adair. Lafayette is only averaging less than a yard per punt return this year. So they've yet to get off one of those long punt returns or any punt return of note all season long. That punt, not a very good one, 29 yards.
Pretty good field position for the Leopards, and they get a little injection of life here provided by their defense. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
They'll have the ball on their 33-yard line, exactly where Harvard started their first drive of the second half. Watson in motion. Curley, a lot of time, running room, and the ball is not caught by Layton. In and out of his hands. Another one of those big holes opened up for Rob Curley if he wanted to run it.
Yeah, he did. It's a drag pattern. Here comes Layton. Curley gives him just enough time to separate. The ball just, well, maybe a tad behind him, but Mark Layton will tell you that's a ball that he believes he can catch.
2nd and 10.
Ball sailed on Curley just a little bit, but again, I think that Mark Layton will tell you he needs to catch that football.
Not much breeze in the stadium at all. Nice, comfortable day for football. Curley will flip it out here, and that's not going to be a good catch. Out of bounds is Sean Adair, so the Leopards have not moved the ball at all in their first 2 plays.
Yeah, interesting play selection, too, because Harvard has been absolutely stout against the run. So Frank Tavani comes out, and the first 2 plays from scrimmage here in the second half are rollouts that the first one looked like it was designed to go for some yardage, but that one was blown up completely by Harvard.
Adair, Watson out wide to the right side. Layton wide to the left side. This is sometimes where you see Michael Conti over the middle. Conti stays in the block.
Screen.
They're trying to throw the screen. Now they're trying to get somebody open. We got Frank Tavani is screaming about a flag.
And he's pointing at Maurice White because the play was designed to go to Maurice White. He could never release from the line of scrimmage. There you see Frank Tavani. He's livid. And we're going to try to take a look. If we can find more right here. There's the hold, but he just can't release. And they're looking for Maurice White, but he absolutely gets tackled, and that's what blew up the play.
Had him by the jersey. Couldn't go anywhere.
My.
Well, Frank will be putting our DVD together and sending this one to the office.
Well, we're helping him where we can. It's not very difficult to do. I mean, there's a couple of pretty obvious calls right there, but the reason Rob Curley had nobody to throw it to was because they're holding Maurice White. What a punt.
Dash the punt, and Barry is driven way back to the 19-yard line. He goes down immediately. Great coverage, but coming up hurt is DeAndre Morrow. He'll run off the field, but it looks like he hurt his side. That is a huge punt back to the 48 yards.
Give DeAndre Morrow credit right here. He shows good discipline. He might have rolled up on his left side just a little bit. But, Gary, normally in those situations, a punt like that, you might think that the punter outkicked his coverage, but DeAndre Morrow showed great speed in covering that kick.
Harvard gets it back. They didn't let Pizzotti do much on that first possession. They'll probably change their mind, although not on this first down play, as they turn around and hand the ball off to Gordon. Gino will get a couple at best.
Well, the last guy getting up is
Andy Roman.
Yeah, of course. And, I think we've talked about quarterbacks stepping up and putting an offense on their back. At this point, early in the second half, I think Andy Romans is doing just that for this Leopard defense.
I'm sure they had a little heart-to-heart in the locker room, as nobody has been so effective offensively against Lafayette in a couple of seasons. That's going to be close to a first down, as a little quick flip to Jason Miller over the middle. And the tackle made by Legiro and Romans.
Boy, Jason Miller is a tight end. He's built like a defensive end. I mean, that's a big boy. And you'll see him right here again. Pizzotti does a nice job. He buys some time with his feet. And then Jason Miller just finds a kind of soft spot in the zone. Very, very short third down play.
3rd and 1 from the 28-yard line.
Nope.
They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. As the Harvard punting unit will have to come on the field. It's Mark Legiro leading the charge.
Well, I promised Mark Legiro some pasta if he got 2 sacks today. This might qualify. Great job fighting off the block, and there's Legiro. That's an old-fashioned tackle. That's all shoulder pad, drive the runner back, and Lafayette's defense forces a punt. The second one, Gary. The second one.
And I think we should mention that John's not trying to bribe anybody. It just so happens that Mark is dating his daughter. A high punt, not a particularly deep punt, and it will be caught by Sean Adair at the 45-yard line. That's just a 27-yard punt. Lafayette with good field position. Their defense has come out of the locker room and done the job. Stay with us.
always been a part of your working life. But as you plan for retirement, you face a new set of ifs. If I can't count on a big pension, if I want to stay in the house where my kids grew up, if my money has to last and last. MetLife has been protecting retirements for over 100 years. We can ease your transition from work to retirement by helping you create your personal safety net, so you're taken care of. Call on our expertise to get guarantees for the if in life. After all, we're MetLife.
When it comes to being a better football fan, nothing beats Sprint NFL Mobile. You can watch exclusive game highlights of all your favorite players, like Peyton Manning. That guy's pretty good, if you like 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser, rocket arm. With NFL Mobile only from Sprint, you get customizable alerts and real-time stats on your favorite team. Maybe like Peyton Manning's team, maybe.
Get the power of the NFL in your hand, only with Sprint.
Charlestown races and slots. 153 comfortable rooms, including 18 suites. Premier views of the track and an easy night's rest are now yours at the Inn at Charlestown. Just a quick spin away. Charlestown. Reserve online at charlestownraces.com and receive 2 free meals at the Epic Buffet. West Virginia, wild and wonderful.
Because they play for pride, not contract extensions. Because the cheerleaders actually cheer. Because every game is a playoff game. Because even the halftime show makes the highlight reel. Because the chances of your team relocating are 0%. That's why you love college football. And that's why you watch Masson. Be there as Florida International travels to take on Troy, Saturday, October 18th on Masson.
Who do I draft first, a quarterback or a running back?
Adrian Peterson or LaDainian Tomlinson?
When do I draft a kicker?
How many running backs should I draft?
Who's a surefire rookie?
Who's a better fantasy QB, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady? Who has the better defense, the Colts or Steelers?
Anybody know a good sleeper pick?
Should I go for Chad Johnson or Randy Moss?
Any tips on a draft day bargain?
Anita Marks and her fantasy football experts show you how to win your league. Fantasy Football Blitz, Thursdays at 11 p.m. on Masson. Be there.
From the 45-yard line, 1st and 10. (24-13), Lafayette with a football. 1st and 10.
Let's go, guys. Here we go. Let's go. Out there.
Give the ball to Adair. Ball will get run out of bounds by Glenn Doris. Glenn Doris has been around a long, long time as an outstanding middle linebacker. Here's Dan Mowdy.
Gary, that impressive last defensive stand was held without starting strong safety Nigel Bryant. He is in the locker room. They're still working on a stinger. It's the same shoulder that he had a stinger against Marist earlier this season. So they're going to try to work that out here for the second half. In the meantime, Nick Oliver takes his place, number 33 for Lafayette. This is a guy who is an Ivy League killer. Last year had 12 tackles against Princeton, 3.5 tackles for a loss against the Tigers, and also had a sack against Princeton. Now back to you.
Oh, great play by 91, Matt Curtis. He comes rushing up the middle untouched, and Rob Curley could not get away from him, and the loss back to the 38 is a loss of 11.
There's a little bit of a play fake here, but Curtis would have none of it, Gary. There is no way. He just slips that block. Curley cannot get outside, and it's a big loss, and now it creates a 3rd and very long for the Leopard offense.
So the D has stopped Harvard on 2 possessions, but the offense has been unable to get a first down here in the second half. 3rd and 17. Watch Conti over the middle. They're going to fire it to the outside. That is a good catch, but not a first down. It's to the 46-yard line. A gain of 8 yards. You know Frank does not want to give this ball back, but he doesn't have any choice.
Yeah, he doesn't, especially from this place on the field. Now, not an insignificant pass play right there, Gary, because even though they don't get the first down, it really puts Condash in a position where he can directional this kick. And the key here now is to pin Harvard back inside their 15 or 20 if possible. Certainly they're in that range right now.
Sean Adair with that catch now moves into 6th place all time in career yardage. as he has 73 yards today. Ooh, that's a good punt by Kondash.
Going to work out very, very nicely.
It's going to roll and right down to the 1 foot
very
line.
Nicely.
Tim Watson will put it down at the 1 inch line, as that will be a 48-yard punt.
And again, you go back to that seemingly insignificant third down play. Lafayette picks up an extra 10 yards on the pass play. They don't get the first down, but Tom Kondash had all kinds of confidence knowing that Harvard was probably not going to field the ball inside the 20, and with any kind of roll on the friendly home turf, Lafayette's defense would have Harvard's offense backed up.
Boy, a safety with the score differential would be huge. On the 1 yard line, Pizzotti back. He'll flip it out here. Nice safety pass as you throw it to your fullback, Mike Durner. That's his first catch of the year. Neil Goldsmith with the tackle, and just like that, they get the first down and they're out from the shadows of their end zone.
Yeah, this is nothing more than a long handoff, and Lafayette kind of sold out on the run into the line. There was no coverage out on the edge, and nice easy pass play from Pizzotti to Gordon.
12-yard pickup. Hand the ball off, and they haven't been able to rush the ball too well so far in the second half, as they'll pick up 2 yards on this play. Carried by Gino Gordon.
All is not lost yet. I mean, despite that big first down play from the goal line, Harvard still only at the 14-yard line, so Lafayette's defense can still create good field position if they can get a stop here.
2nd and 8 from the 15. Pizzotti back, and he connects as his pass caught by Lordich. Lordich has really had himself a big day. Lordich now with 4 catches, and with that catch, he's going to go over 100 yards receiving as he picks up 15.
Well, I tell you, Carlos Lowe is right there. This just demonstrates the accuracy and the arm strength of Chris Pizzotti. Carlos Lowe did not have bad position on that pass play, but he was in between going for the breakup or going for the tackle.
From the 30, 1st and 10. Pizzotti back over the middle, and it's a little long, intended for Jason Miller. And that's a play we see Lafayette run quite often, and Nigel Bryant back in the lineup.
Yeah, they call it the seam route, and you kind of run right down the hash mark, and it's ideally suited for a tight end, especially when he's matched up against the linebacker, and Pizzotti just barely overthrows the ball. Nigel Bryant is back in the game, and we know that because he just blasted Miller on that pass defense.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line. Pizzotti 11 for 19, 184 yards and a touchdown. He's back again. He's firing high, but this one is caught. 6'6", Matt Luft makes the catch. Matt's dad's here today to watch the football game. Matt from California. We had a chance to meet up with his friends and Matt's father. Another look.
Just a little slant pattern right here, and that's 6'6" Pizzotti throwing to 6'6" Luft, and they give the term aerial show a whole new meaning.
There you get a look at the foliage that will be gone when we come back to Fisher Stadium, as we will not be back here again till November 15th. And by that time, the leaves, much like John's hair, will be disappearing.
Very thinned out considerably.
And the ball off to Gordon. And Gordon will be tackled on the play by Jeff Katz.
And the Harvard offense kind of taking on the personality here in the second half that we anticipated it would show more of in the first half. And that is, Gary, primarily throwing the football. That's where Pizzotti is doing his damage. And Lafayette seems to have solved the riddle of Harvard's offense on the ground, but Pizzotti doing some damage now through the air.
So here's a 2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line. Pizzotti changing the play at the line of scrimmage. It's can ill afford to fall any further behind, and now you know why he changed the play. He saw Matt Luft uncovered. He knew he could run at least a 5-yard pattern on a little down and out. He ran about a 7-yard pattern on the down and out, ends up picking up 8.
Yeah, he sees the alignment, and it's Eric McGovern who's too deep in coverage. The next closest player was Mark Legiro, who's a linebacker, so great recognition by Pizzotti, and he knew he was going to have Luft open on a short pass pattern to the left.
Luft now, 5 catches, 57 yards. Pizzotti rolling, and he wants the tuck. He fires, and it'll be an incomplete pass.
Nice coverage by the Leopards as they rolled to the right. Lafayette had everybody covered, and they also contained Pizzotti because we've seen him turn that upfield, and if nothing's available through the air, we've seen him tuck it under and get some significant yardage with his legs, but that time Lafayette had the edge well defended.
Leopards need to make something happen, John, defensively. They need a
turnover. When we talked about turnovers in the pregame, Gary, and Harvard has avoided that bugaboo. They had 7 in the first 2 games.
I think we had some movement. Let's hope we had some movement along the line of scrimmage by Harvard, because a whole bunch of Lafayette people were across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Luke Shade was the first to make contact, and I think he detected something.
Snap. Ball start. Number 65 on the offense. 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage.
Roger is the
second down.
He moved. Take a look. 65. Left guard.
Left guard. Let's see. Right there. Oh, yeah. And Luke Shade reacts to him, and that's a problem for the offense. So now second down, and let's call it 15. And again, Lafayette's defense in pretty good down and distance, Gary.
It's only the second penalty against Harvard in the football game. Pizzotti looking. He gets hit as he releases it.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's a bit of a quail, and it's still going to be a completed pass. That one had a lot of air under it. It was floating a little bit, and he still completes it to the 35-yard line for a 13-yard pickup.
You're right, Gary. This ball hung up in the air tantalizingly long, and Marvin Clesidor just could not make a break. Of course, you've got to respect the size and speed of Harvard's wideouts, but talk about giving a cushion.
Frank Devani talked about Matt Luft and how terrific he is. He said, we won't see a better wide receiver, I don't think, this season. Pizzotti's going to call a timeout. For the first time today, Pizzotti a little confused by what he was looking at. And with the great academic kids from the Patriot League and the Ivy League, they're not confused very often. Let's take a look at the trivia question today. That's brought to you by Sprint, featuring the Simply Everything plan. Harvard has beaten Lafayette 7 straight games. But what Ivy League school currently has the most consecutive wins over the Leopards? It's not Harvard.
Now this has got to be a trick question. Let's see, who do we play? Most consecutive wins. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I will say, I'll share it with our studio audience first.
Okay. John has written down his answer. We'll give you a chance to write your answer down at home. And we'll see if John, for the first time in 10 years, as you get a look at the passing plays, it's a very complex, well-designed passing offense.
Yeah, they're 6'6" to 6'6". I mean, they're tall, they're lanky, they're well drilled, and
boy, there was a perfect example, John. A guy out of the backfield, completed pass. An end that goes down for a short down and out, completed pass.
Yep.
Over the middle, completed pass.
Yeah, they've got an awful lot in their toolbox, and Lafayette searching for answers right now. This could be a huge third down play for the Leopard defense.
10th play of the drive. Third and a deuce. Hand it off. Oh, did he get it? He did not. He fell forward, but he was not able to get enough momentum to get the first down. So Harvard now has a decision to make.
Now with the lead here, Gary, and the way they've been able to move the football, I got to believe Tim Murphy's going to take a shot at it.
That was Ian Dell that made the defensive play on Ho.
Ho did a nice job to get as close as he did, because initially on the first contact, he was going to be dropped for a loss. Big play.
4th And it's a full yard. Ho, first down. He just kept banging and churning. And he kept it going as he runs into 93 Mike Phillips, but not before he gets to the 32-yard line. Again, 2.
Boy, this is a powerful young man. I mean, he's got some strong legs because there's not a whole lot of room in there, and he has the ability to fall forward. Chang Ho having a big day.
They've run, this drive has taken more than 4 minutes by Harvard. Pizzotti back. And he gets rid of it quickly because he was going down. One thing about Pizzotti, John, he doesn't take sacks. He gets rid of the football. Legiro was all over him.
Yeah, and we talked before about the quarterback being part of the protection. And one of the reasons why he's not been sacked is because of his ability to read defenses and get rid of the ball.
Well, let's see what Dan Mowdy has for us.
Well, Gary, I wish I had better news for you guys. Neil Goldsmith suffering another injury here today. He's the leader on the team for interceptions. He's had 3 in 3 games, but he took a shot to the head, and he will be out the rest of the game. Also, Lewis Irving on special teams, who had some great tackles earlier today, is also out for the same reason. Now back to you.
Wow, protect your head down there, Dan. 2nd and 10 from the 32. Flip it out here. Has the ball caught by Ho. Boy, does he run with a lot of energy. There is a flag down on the play, and finally, maybe the Leopards can find a way of negating this passing attack with a yellow hanky. Let's see, it's all the way back to the 36-yard line, which normally is a hold.
Certainly that's the area on the field from which you'll get these calls. And it appears that, in fact, Gary, you're right, it is coming back, and that's a big break.
It's a face mask call. That's going to be a 15-yarder, John.
Yeah, they've done away with the incidental face mask, which was last year a 5-yarder.
Face mask. Number 73 on the offense. 15 yards from the original line of scrimmage.
That's huge.
2nd down.
Wow. So a team that was only penalized 10 yards up to that point now gets set back 15 yards. And I think Jason Mills is the guy who has his face mask grabbed. Number 95 there, bottom of your screen. Oh, right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you know, when you get those hands under the face mask and grasp it, you just can't get any forward momentum, so it's a clear advantage.
Nice job by Tim Kafer on replay. Pizzotti got nailed as he let it go. Andy Roman's all over him, and Andy will help him up. Pat him on the back.
Just doesn't make any sense, does it? Watch Legiro and Romans. Here they come. It's an all-out blitz from the linebacker spot. Andy Roman gets to him first. And after a little friendly hello, he helps him up.
So what was your SAT score? How was your SAT?
I know, I'm sure that's what they were exchanging pleasantries there.
3rd and 25. Harvard 6 for 10 and 3rd down effectiveness. We'll hand the ball off to Ho. And Ho will get good yardage to the 40. I think they're going to mark it at the 41, a gain of 6.
So now it will be Lafayette, who may be looking at some very poor field position, but significant with an 11-point lead, Gary. You've got the clock over there. That was a time-consuming drive, and though it didn't put any points on the board.
5 minutes right now.
Yeah, and counting. So Sean Adair sets up at about the 10-yard line.
So Hull will punt it away. For a guy who didn't punt at all in the first half, this is his 3rd punt here in the second half. And it's a nice spiral. And it will hit and get the end zone.
That's a big break.
Boy, you talk about home field advantage.
How about that turf bounce?
Lafayette punts it. It stops at the 1-inch line. Harvard punts it. It runs into the end zone. We'll be back.
When former Baltimore Colt and Super Bowl star Tom Matte needed a new bathroom, a friend told him there's only one place to go.
I wanted to try to help my son fix up his bathroom. And one of my good friends was there, and he says, boy, you ought to look into bath fitters. And they do a great job. And he says, you ought to call them and talk to them. And I did. They came in, did a neat job, got the job done correctly. I couldn't be happier with what's happened.
When you're a rock star, you get to party hard. Champagne and caviar, tricked out exotic cars, it's just how I thought it'd be. Except the party's not for me, 'cause some punk opened a credit card with my ID. Free what? Free credit. Report.com. That's the site I'm gonna hit when I go home. They know how credit works. They send email alerts. Now I'm finding out how bad reality hurts.
Offer applies with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
Hey, Nats fans, become a new season ticket holder and place your 2009 deposit today.
This is our playground.
There's something for everyone.
Every seat in the house is incredible, and the Red Lobster Bar is amazing.
Call 202-675-NATS or visit nationals.com. Make the play and buy today.
Thank you. We are back. Lafayette with a football. 1st and 10. They have it on their own 20-yard line. Nobody has scored in the second half. 24-13. And it's a quick pitch to Mo White. And Mo's going to pick up about 3 on the play as he's tackled by Carl Ehrlich out of Bethesda, Maryland.
Harvard does a nice job, Gary, of just chasing down the plays from the backside. It's a very athletic unit, and again, this is a team that was 7-0 Ivy League champions last year. We knew this would be a tall order. The game has kind of settled into a defensive struggle here in the second half.
2nd and 7. It's only the 3rd run of the second half by Lafayette. Fake by Curley, fire by Curley, catch by Adair. Sean Adair adds some more yardage to his total. He's up to the 37. He'll pick up 14. Tackled by Matt Thomas.
Nice job here by Sean Adair to not try to do more than he needs to do. Rob Curley on the rollout. Sean Adair will just drag from the backside, and notice how he looks that ball into his arms and cradles it because he knew he had first down yardage. The drive stays alive. Lafayette on the move.
Easton coach out of town scores. Lehigh trailing Cornell now 13-12 in the 4th quarter. Lafayette hands the ball off to Mo White. Mo will get to the 41. He'll pick up 4.
And during the break, you and I talked about Lafayette's offensive philosophy, at least early on in the 3rd quarter. Gary, it was more throwing the ball than passing the ball, and we know that the strength of Lafayette's offense, at least to this point this year, has been the running game. And so now they seem to have gone back to it. There's a big part of the running game right there.
Joe Russo on the sideline.
And that's not good news.
So that means Jeff Cummings in there for Lafayette. 2nd and 6.
Joe Russo is a great lead blocker for Maurice White.
Curley back. He's going to lob it up top for Conti. And he could not catch the football. That was a tough catch. He was looking back over his shoulder. It came right over his helmet. And he could not hang on.
Boy, they had the play. They had the call. Look where the shadows are. I'm not sure. But Mike Conti is not only looking back over his helmet, but he's also looking squarely into the sun that is setting to our west. So who knows? But Mike Conti now with his 2nd drop today. That is something you just don't see very often.
Holy Cross has gotten to within 7 against Yale. 21-14 in the 4th quarter. Princeton over Columbia 14-10 in the 3rd. Penn over Dartmouth 23-10 in the 4th. Curley back, just gets rid of it. That's interference. There's the flag. Interference will be called against Matt Hansen.
It was a well-run route by Will Clayton, I think, unless that's Sean. Is it 9 or 8? It's difficult to tell from here, but Gary, Rob Curley shows great arm strength, delivers the ball right on time. Let's take a look.
I believe it's Sean Adair.
Yeah, if it's 9, it's Sean Adair, obviously, and there you see the ball a little behind him.
3 on the defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul.
That is late.
First down.
Number 8.
Yeah, the ball behind him, and actually it was the ball, because it was behind Leighton, it arrived there very early, and the D-back just couldn't avoid the contact. Big break for the Leopards.
So that's a spot foul, and puts the ball right at midfield. Clock stopped with 2:07 to go in the 3rd quarter. Harvard almost jumps offside. Take the ball, fire it out here, over the head of Joe Russo. And then he gets a pretty good pop from Andrew Berry.
Boy, he was there too, Gary. Lafayette has seen that play work early in this contest, and they went back to it. It's good. The good news is that Joe Russo is back in the football game, and You know, we've had kind of a convergence of issues here. There are times when Rob Curley is spot on and his receivers have dropped the ball, and then there are times when the receiver is seemingly open and Rob can't make the connection. So, hey, they're still in this thing. There's an 11-point difference, but this drive is critical.
I'm not a scientist, but that's a bad convergence.
Yes, it is. Convergence. So I want to say convergence, confluence.
Both those things were bad. And a good catch. Now, unable to do anything with it because of a terrific defensive play by Derek Barker. He fought off a blocker and managed to stay right on Sean Adair and put him down at the 48, a loss of 2.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Frank Tavani on the sideline and watch this play develop, because I'm telling you, Frank's heart is in his throat right now, because there's an equal number of red shirts and white shirts out there, and Sean Adair's got to haul that ball in and kind of take on the contact that arrives almost at the same time that the football does.
Well, the Leopards try to keep this drive alive. On third downs, they are 3 out of 9 on the day. Fire, Conti, but he's not going to get a first down. He'll stretch out as far as he can. He'll get it to the 43. He'll pick up 9. Connor Murphy on the play, and now Frank has a decision to make.
And I don't see Condash yet. The way Luke Shade is reacting down there, I think they're going to go for it. Yes, they are. Here comes Rob Curley.
4th and 3. Oh, they say 2 on the scoreboard, but it's really 3 yards.
It's certainly a long 2.
Yeah, it's so long, it's 3.
You sure it's not 4? Big play, obviously.
Trying to keep a drive alive are the Leopards. Curley, flip. That's a first down. Mulloy out of bounds. Lafayette keeps the football at the 37-yard line, again a 6.
Boy, you talk about a well-delivered football. Watch right here. Here's your guy, Maurice White. He's going to head right out here into the flat. Nothing to it. Hold on. There's the cushion. There's nobody there. He's all alone. Well delivered over the shoulder by Rob Curley. Big first down for Lafayette.
Final play, perhaps, of the third quarter. And it's Sean Adair the other way. He's been running this side all day long. He'll get inside the 35. Looks like he got to the 34. A gain of 3. And that will do it. The third quarter will come to a close. Nobody puts any points on the board in the third period. When we come back, Lafayette 33 yards away from the Harvard end zone. They are down by 11. You're watching Lafayette football on the Lafayette Sports Network.
We live in your hometown. We're part of your family. Just look. And we're there. We're Capital Blue Cross. We celebrate the rich past we share with you, and we're ready for whatever tomorrow will bring. Here's to the past 70 years together, and here's to the next 70 to come. Capital Blue Cross. Then, now, always.
We were always raised around family and food. Everything took place in the kitchen, and that's why we put our kitchens at Carrabba's out here in the dining room, because you're welcomed into our home. Manja.
You know I'm a steak man.
You know, Johnny, I'm a Gulf Coast angler myself.
Take it easy, Big D.
Oh, JC, now wait a minute. Look at this. Grilled salmon, spiedino di mare, and my favorite, our wonderful lobster ravioli.
At Carrabba's, good things happen around our table.
Welcome to the Lehigh Valley's most spectacular new golf course, the Club at Morgan Hill. Nominated for Golf Digest's Best New Course in America, the Club at Morgan Hill offers something for everyone in the Lehigh Valley. Superb greens, fine dining at Vintage Restaurant and Bar, and the best views on the East Coast. For information on daily specials and a chance to win free golf, visit our website, theclubAtMorganHill.com, or call 610-923-8480.
2nd and 7 as we start the fourth quarter for Lafayette. They're down by 11. The ball on the 34-yard line of Harvard. Low White, the lone setback for Lafayette. Curley back, looking, firing, and that's not a good pass. Threw it way behind Tim Watson. And here we go again, John. Third and long.
Third down and long. And Gary, that play was well defended by Harvard. I mean, there was such a narrow window for Rob Curley that time. The intended receiver was Watson, but really there was nowhere to throw that football. So you're right. It's a third down and long. I'm not so sure that we're not in 4-down territory here for the Leopards. Not much to gain field position-wise from a punt.
Lafayette has not shown the propensity to score on a big play. They've got a 38-yarder this year, a 37-yarder. Oh, what a great play defensively. That is Matt Curtis, who comes in and surrounds Mo White. And again, Lafayette faced with a 4th down. The ball on the 35. They lost the yard on that play.
Boy, I'll tell you, that is a great play by Curtis. We're going to see it. This is where he starts off, Gary. I mean, he starts off right in here. Right in here. Now watch him pursue the play this way. I mean, the play looks like it's set up, and then here's Curtis making the play from the interior of that line.
Lafayette rearranges their bodies on this big 4th down. Looked a little confused. Now they hope everybody's where they belong. They get the play off. Frank's going to call a timeout. He did not want to take a chance of that play being unsuccessful on 4th and 8. Let's go back to the trivia question. Harvard has beaten Lafayette 7 consecutive times. But what Ivy League school currently has the most consecutive wins over the Leopards? And John said?
Well, it had to be somebody we haven't played in a while, so I'm saying Yale.
John is absolutely correct. Ding, 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 ding. 8 times now. Yale. Oh, John, I'm sorry.
No, I'm looking.
It's Brown. I made a mistake. It's Brown. 8 straight times. They started the streak in 1912. They last won in 1999. John's streak continues. 10 years without a correct answer.
That's Ripken-esque. I'm looking over your shoulder and I see the answer. Now I see Brown. I'm thinking you're saying I'm right. I said, what's Brown written up there for? I'm going to keep plugging.
Well,
Remember, I'm a fan of the Pirates and the Browns and the Syracuse Orangemen.
I don't mind building you up a little and then knocking you right down.
This will happen someday, and I'm not going to know. I mean, I will get it right.
Tough call here for Lafayette on a 4th and 8. It's Adair and Watson wide to the top of your screen, Layton at the bottom of your screen. Mo White, the lone setback with Curley. Back, Curley looking, firing.
That's a great play.
But it's a first down.
Yes,
it is indeed.
You talk about two players being on the same page. One of the more difficult throws in football. It's a simple out pattern, and Will Layton does a great job.
Needed 8, he got 10. Make it 11.
Yeah, Gary, look at this. Layton sees the cushion, and I'm sure that Rob Curley's looking at the same thing. Stop it now. The ball is here. It's a deep out. What a great throw. Not a big window there, but Curley squeezes it in.
From the 24. A little double action. Watson he's got some running room. Oh, did it close quickly. Great play by Eric Schultz, the outside linebacker. There was a hole, and all of a sudden there was no hole. Eric Schultz with the play.
I'm not so sure that Tim Watson saw what we saw, Gary, but the whole Harvard defense had sold out. There was only one player. Now, I'm thinking if he gets to the edge rather than now hold on, keep going. Hold on, right here. I mean, he can't see it from here, but if he goes to the outside, he turns it upfield. There's nobody on the other side of the football field, Gary. I thought if he had gotten to the edge, he might have still been running.
2nd and 10, no gain on the play. Curley fakes the handoff, back, fires into the corner, and it's broken up. Nice play by Matt Hansen.
Yes, it was, because he was isolated out there. I think that was Joe Russo. The fullback, we've talked about it. He's been open out of the backfield, but Hansen that time kept his discipline. He was responsible for Joe Russo, and boy, you don't cover the back out of the backfield any better than that.
Well, Lafayette in this drive not happy unless they're 3rd or 4th and long.
They have converted some big plays, and again, I'm looking at it we're looking at a 22-40, we're looking at a 39-yard field goal. I mean, it's Davis Rodriguez territory.
15th play of the drive. Curley back. Curley steps up. That's going to be a hold against Lafayette. I believe it was DJ Brown who reached out and grabbed Desmond Bryant. And Desmond Bryant got held, I think.
Probably so, and it's Harvard's going to take this penalty to make life a little more difficult for a potential Lafayette field goal.
Be a 10-yard penalty. Sure, they're talking about it, but I see no reason why they wouldn't take it.
Oh, yeah, he's got to move him back.
It would be fourth down.
Now, yeah, but Gary, you know what? A field goal here makes it an 8-point game, so that's a one-score difference. So Tim Murphy just gave the signal.
Number 64 on the offense. 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage. Replay, third down.
That makes it 3rd and 20.
Well, again, you're not necessarily talking about converting a first down here. Watch the right side of the screen, I believe. Yeah, right there.
They're out of field goal range now. They need to pick up at least 10, maybe 15 yards here. Curley, good protection. Fire has him in. Oh, and it's not caught. Tough catch for Sean Adair, but it was there. And Sean normally will make that catch.
That's called a skinny post, Gary, because it's not across the heart of the football field. It's more down the hash. And you're not a perfect throw, but a throw that, oh my goodness, we've seen Sean Adair make that catch. That's, you know what, it's a perfect throw. He's got to get it over the dropping linebacker. He's got to get it under the safety, and that ball was right on the hands of Sean Adair. A missed opportunity.
So Kondash will try to pin Harvard deep in their territory. Certainly they'll put in the end zone. Will only gain 14 yards on this punt. Oh, he'll aim for the sideline, pooch it a little bit, and it'll be a fair catch called for. At the 16-yard line, 18-yard line, Harvard's got the football, and we'll be back.
This salad is really good. You want a bite?
No, thank you. I'm a Mediterranean.
A what?
Mediterranean. I only eat meat, beef, bacon. You know, Mediterranean.
Oh.
It's a personal choice. You have to commit to it, you know?
The Wendy's Baconator. 6 strips of hickory smoked bacon on 2 quarter-pound patties of fresh, never frozen beef. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Have a way better shake way later. Enjoy a hand-spun Frosty shake late at night.
Because stadiums have 100,000 seats, but no one sits. Because a well-executed option is a thing of beauty. Because coaches don't get fired for one bad season. Because of the rivalries. Because the colors stay with you longer than the face paint. That's why you love college football. And that's why you watch Masson. The Stony Brook Seawolves travel to face the Flames of Liberty Saturday afternoon at 3:30 on Masson.
I'm Mark Clark, and I'm ready to quit smoking.
It's almost like something that's been on my to-do list for 30 years. My father passed away, directly attributable to cigarettes. And what should I do with this last $5? Do I skip lunch or get a pack of cigarettes? And so many times I'm skipping lunch and getting that pack of cigarettes. You know, intellectually I've understood why it's a bad thing.
If you'd like to quit smoking, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. It'll be nice to be able to say, you know, I'm someone who used to smoke.
We are back. We just got a late score. Holy Cross and Yale are now tied 21-all as that game looks like it's headed to overtime. And I believe we got a report that Bucknell now has taken the lead over Marist. I do not have a score, but Bucknell 21, Marist 17. 49 seconds to go in that game. Pizzotti looks, fires, and that'll be a good catch. Should be good enough for a first down, as it looks like they get up to the 26-yard line. And Carlos Lowe there to knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, it's a big-time play. Look at how precise this has to be. Carlos Lowe has good coverage, and of course, in college football, you only need the 1 foot down in bounds, and almost indefensible is that play.
Catch made by Jason Miller, the tight end. Miller with 2 catches, 15 yards.
Boy, he's slippery, isn't he?
He is. He is hard to get. I'll tell you, he runs with such quickness.
Yeah, and power. He's got a great, great combination of speed and power, and he's built low to the ground. Chang Ho, we're talking about, number 39, and right here in the grasp, and that is, I didn't get the number of the Lafayette tackler, but I'll tell you what, that's just good running by Chang Ho.
Report Holy Cross now in overtime. We don't know if it's a final or they just scored on their first possession, but they lead Yale by 7, 28-21. Pizzotti, they just can't get Pizzotti. And he's going to fall forward and get another first down. They just cannot get to him. We have a Lafayette player shaken up down on the field, and I believe it's Luke Shade.
Yeah, he's up quickly, so he's okay, and that's good news because he has really anchored that defensive end position. I think it's Mark. No, it isn't. It's 93.
I thought it was Luke Shade.
That was 93 who's knifed through. So Luke Shade's hurt, but 93
Mike
almost.
Phillips.
Yeah. Phillips very nearly had Pizzotti, but all afternoon long he's just wiggled away.
Final score from Lehigh. Cornell 25, Lehigh 24. So the woes continue for the Mountain Hawks. Inches, maybe an inch
Yeah,
shy
how
of
about
first
that?
down.
So we've seen stranger things with the
Holy Cross has come back on their overtime possession to tie it up. So it's 28-28. Holy Cross and Yale. What a ball game at Yale. Well, the Leopards ever had a huge defensive play in their arsenal. Now's the time to bring it. Ho, the lone setback.
You know
and
what?
They moved.
Oh, yes, they did. They're looking at Mills, the tight end, I believe.
And a lot of finger pointing. They're saying Miller moved.
Yeah, dead ball foul.
Ball start. Number 65 on the offense.
65 it was. Tom Roger.
Line of scrimmage.
How long is the link of a chain? Talk about that spot. Suddenly, a point blank third down conversion becomes, and there you see, not only did the tight end move, but we saw a little flinch by the left guard as well.
Yeah,
so
that's who they called it on.
Yeah.
Roger. Well, now they got to figure out how to stop Pizzotti from completing a pass. Here comes Cody Babcock into the lineup. He replaces Ian Dell. Lafayette will go with a 4-man front.
Chang Ho is the lone setback to the left of Pizzotti.
And it's incomplete. Good stick by Nigel Bryant. As intended for Levi Richards. Incomplete. Lafayette's going to get the ball back again.
Yeah, and that's a big hiccup by the Harvard offense, and we've not seen them stub their toe very often in this game. But boy, that motion penalty creates a passing situation, and Lafayette forces Harvard to punt again. Gary, that must be 4 in this half, and they didn't punt one time in the first half.
It is their 4th punt. Bucknell does beat Marist 21-14. Boy, what a beautiful punt. High. Oh, there's a penalty flag. That'll be a 15-yarder, John.
The question's going to be here.
Yeah, how quickly did he get his hand up?
Yeah, I mean, he waited to the last possible second. But either way, you've got to let him catch the ball.
Yeah, right. He's still got run into.
So it really doesn't matter. Now, you see Sean Adair's hand go up very, very quickly. Doesn't matter. Whether he calls the fair catch or not, he has a right to catch that football.
So Lafayette is going to get the ball on the Harvard 45-yard line. 46.
Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick. On the kicking team, number 31. 15 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
Now that's field position and everything else. A big break for the Leopards, but boy, you got to tip your cap to this Harvard defense. They have been up to the challenge. They've shut Lafayette out here in the second half, and it has turned into a defensive struggle.
Yeah, the Leopards have not been a quick strike team all year. But they'd love to get something rather quickly on this board. get to within striking distance. How about the option? Well, this isn't working well. Anytime he gets strung out like that, Desmond Bryant is there to clean up. So that play didn't look good from the very start.
Yeah, it sure didn't. There were just as many white shirts at the edge as there were red shirts, and what that means is that Harvard has strung that play out, and Rob Curley made the prudent decision and just tucked it under, got what he could, which was very little.
1 yard, 2nd and 9. Lafayette just 72 yards on the ground. Early, quick flip to White. Boy, Mo just found, oh, look at Mo White. Finally stepped out of bounds. We're talking about shrugging people off.
Oh my goodness, you know, Gary, when he caught that football, he had no leverage, but he had the strength and the balance to keep his feet, and he got 5 extra yards all by himself and creates a 3rd down play right here. I mean, any other running back goes down, and not only that, he lowers his shoulder, gets an extra 5 yards, and now Lafayette looking at a very doable 3rd down, and call it 2, but it's probably closer to a yard and a half.
Ooh, got the snap early. Now can Curley find some room to run? He can't. The snap came before Rob was expecting it, and then he was just trying to look for a place. They pick up the 2 yards, a mistake, as Peter Ajayi is there to put him down.
Yeah, Rob was fortunate to even catch this football. There was no way he was ready for it. That's going to bring Tom Kondash in from this position on the football field. Frank Tavani does not want to give Harvard's offense the short field to work with. They'll have to kick it away.
Time to fake a punt?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely got to be a consideration, because how many times can you stop Harvard?
High, fair catch, 15-yard line. Grab by Berry. A 32-yard punt. When we come back, the ball's back in the hands of Harvard.
When it comes to being a better football fan, nothing beats Sprint NFL Mobile. You can watch exclusive game highlights of all your favorite players, like Peyton Manning. That guy's pretty good, if you like 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser, rocket arm. With NFL Mobile only from Sprint, you get customizable alerts and real-time stats on your favorite team. Maybe like Peyton Manning's team, maybe.
Get the power of the NFL in your hand, only with Sprint.
I love Lafayette College because of its small size. Lafayette College has great diversity with students from 38 states and 55 countries.
One of the great things about Lafayette is that you can personalize your education and design your own major. Because of Lafayette's small campus, 100% of the resources are focused on us.
There's always something to do. We have over 250 student organizations and 23 Division I sports.
Lafayette has a brand new dining hall, and the food is amazing. It's like something your mom would make, and the facility feels like a restaurant. What's perfect about our college is it's 100% undergraduate focused. With only 2,400 students, if you want to do research, the opportunities are endless.
I think that Lafayette being a small college enables students to make the optimum use of available resources.
We are back. We get a final Yale 31, Holy Cross 28. And we have found out that Lehigh lost on the last play of the game on a long pass play by Cornell. Cornell wins that one 25-24. Harvard with the football. Dan Mowdy will have a report for us on Luke Shade right after this play. Pizzati back, looking, firing over the middle. Too far. Here's Dan.
All right, Gary, the day is done as far as the football playing goes for Luke Shade of Jersey City, New Jersey, fifth-year player, and unfortunately has an ankle injury that's keeping him out of the game. He's extremely dejected, as you can see. Now back to you.
All right, Dan. Lafayette last week had a number of players leave the football game and not return, but they all returned today, thanks to Matt Bailey and his crew, the trainer at Lafayette.
Yeah,
well, the good news here is stop the clock.
I was just going to say, Gary, that seam route has been there. That time Pizzati overthrew Miller.
Here comes Ho. And finally, he breaks through. Chen Ho is having himself a ball game. Finally, Andy Romans catches him. And Chang Ho will get all the way down to the 34-yard line in Lafayette territory, a 51-yard run.
We were talking about the need for a big play, but we were talking about it from the Lafayette perspective. Chang Ho all afternoon seemingly has come inches from breaking one of these things. He has been a thorn in the side of the Lafayette defense all afternoon. He breaks the big play. It changes field position, and with Lafayette down at least 2 scores, maybe the outcome of this game.
Big news, Harvard has not turned this ball over all day. Here comes Ho again. This time he gets cracked by Alan Weitzel. The Crimson came in with 7 turnovers in 2 games, 4 lost fumbles and 3 interceptions. And Lafayette coming in had 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery defensively. None of that's happened today.
No, but you know, Gary, given Harvard's track record, that number was an anomaly. I mean, there is no way a team that turned the ball over 11 times last year, it just didn't fit that they had turned it over 7 in 2 games.
There goes Ho again. Legiro finally catches up to him, but not before he gets a first down. And now Chang Ho is slow to get up, and that will force a timeout. Harvard has Cornell at Harvard Stadium next week, and Cornell will be kind of pumped up after their last-second victory over Lehigh.
Yeah, I give a tip of the cap to my buddy over in Emmaus, Ed Alkire. Gave us a call. He was watching that game, and he said that as we take a look at Chang Ho, let's see where the injury kind of just twisted his ankle, it looks like. Not a real traumatic hit, Gary. Maybe his legs got twisted underneath him, but Ed reports that that pass play took place with no ticks left on the clock. A heartbreaking loss for Lehigh.
Ho went over 100 yards rushing with that run. That in the 51-yarder gave him 61. It was 103 yards rushing. Still down is Chang Ho. Chang, who hails from Augusta, Georgia. As we said, he rushed for 722 yards last year, but just came into this game with 26 yards rushing, 5.2 yards per carry. Well, that's not Chang Ho. That's 89, Chris Lordich. And he gets, I think, rolled up on here. He has received more than 100 yards. There he is, 89, blocking for Chang Ho.
Oh, yeah, and it's Chang Ho who rolls into the back of the leg of Lordich. And, boy, that would be huge for this Harvard offense because his bookend at wide receiver is Matt Lofton. Together, those guys make a very potent receiving core.
Lordich, 4 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown.
I get the sense that that big run by Chang Ho took some of the wind out of the sails of this Leopard defense, which has played valiantly here in the second half. They've held Harvard off the scoreboard.
5th play of the drive. It's Ho. And he bursts through to the 16. He'll pick up about 7.
Looks like Andy Roman's on the stop, I believe. But right now, before any Lafayette defender can lay a glove on the running back, they're downfield 4 or 5 yards. That's not a good sign.
2nd and 3. 7 minutes to play. Touchdown would pretty much, oh my,
That's a great play.
My, what a play by Marvin Clessidor. And let's hope Marvin gets up because he took a shot in the head. Both players are slow to get up.
Boy, he delivered a blow, Gary, but in the process, you hope that that shoulder pad protected him. Watch the right side of your screen. Clessidor jumps the play.
Wow.
I think he's going to be okay. You know, Gary, the way I think he got his head low enough, it might be his back that bore the brunt of the impact.
Chatted with Marvin this week on Inside Lafayette Football, and what a great personality, great young man. John, just to talk about the caliber of academic student that Lafayette gets, Marvin Clessidor out of Lakeland, Florida. He was the 4A, which is the big schools in Florida. He was the 4A state scholar athlete of the year in his senior year.
You don't think he had some options coming out of school?
How about it? And I said, why Lafayette? He said, well, John Luce came down and talked to me.
How about it?
He
Well,
said,
that can do it.
John Luce was the man and said, I can come up here and help get this program back in shape. I like the sound of that. Actually, John, I think he wants your job as soon as he graduates.
Was he pretty good?
Oh, he's pretty good with the mic. Behind the microphone.
What are you suggesting? I know he could do better in the trivia questions.
Dan Mounty is down on the field, and he's got some special guests. Here's Dan.
All right, Gary, the Lafayette Game Day Experience is in effect for the first time here today. It's an online auction at goleopards.com. The winner, Tim Triplett, he's the dad of wide receiver Kyle, who's in his freshman year here at Lafayette. Tim, this has got to be a thrill for you. You get a lot of privileges, including being right down here on the field during the game.
There's nothing better. It's fantastic.
Plus, you get to bring some friends along.
You do. You get to bring 3 friends along. My son's high school football coach, Chris English, his youth football coach, Jim Angie, and we all came in blast today.
Now, there is one guy who's hiding out somewhere with a Harvard hat on.
I didn't want him to be spoken about, but my friend Brian Luft, his son Matt Luft, and my son played football in high school together, so he's here as well.
And Luft is having a heck of a game. We have to admit that. That's for sure.
Dang it.
Tell us a little bit about some of the privileges that come with winning that online auction.
You get a chance to meet the coach. You get a chance to walk through the leopard. You get to stand on. The best thing is being right here.
Absolutely.
No question.
Tim Triplett, a proud dad, taking advantage of this great opportunity at goleopards.com. Now back to you.
Jason Mills with a big sack, and they may have taken them out of field goal range.
That's the proverbial coverage sack, Gary. Everybody covered downfield for one of the rare times today. Chris Pizzotti had nowhere to go with the football, and eventually the protection broke down. Watch the time he has, Gary. He's got plenty of time to find people, but give credit to the Lafayette secondary. Nobody's open, and Pizzotti has to eat it. They will try what amounts to, I believe, a 52-yard field goal.
It'll be back set on the 35, so it'll be a 45-yarder. It's down. The kick is up. It is good. Oh, my.
Wow.
A big kick by Patrick Long. 45-yard field goal from Patrick Long. And now it's a 2-touchdown lead by Harvard with 5:50 to go. Let's take another look at it.
Well, I wish it was a 52-yarder, but my math skills were never all that great. We're going to get a great look at it. Watch how much room this has to spare. Not a whole lot.
So 27-13. The drive, 8 plays, 57 yards. They used 3 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock. And now they have increased their lead to 14 points. Big field goal by Patrick Long. Patrick Long is a junior out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
And in that circumstance, I guess it's safe to say that he was just long enough. Didn't have a whole lot to spare, cleared the crossbar by about 6 inches, but it's 3 points any way you cut it. And what was an 11-point game now, a 2-touchdown game.
He had a 40-yard field goal last year against Lafayette. And here's the kickoff. Sean Adair. They need a big return. Good return by Sean Adair to the 34. Tackled on the play by Anthony Spadafino.
Only 2 defenders left. Sean Adair couldn't quite split them. Had he done so, this would have very quickly become a 1-touchdown game. But nevertheless, Lafayette with pretty good starting field position. But you mentioned it before, Gary, and the offense just has not found a way to hit any big plays. And down 2 scores with 5.5 minutes left, that's pretty much has to be in the cards somewhere. Some kind of big play somewhere.
Their longest pass play of the year in terms for a touchdown was 37 yards to Sean Adair. Rob Curley has run for a 38-yard, and Mo White has a 38-yard running touchdown. Mo catches that ball at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 4.
Absent the big play, Lafayette will quickly get to the line of scrimmage, and they will probably get into their hurry-up offense.
2nd and 5 from the 39. Curley back. It's going to be all passes all the time. Almost intercepted. As Adair takes a good pop, but pops right up.
Boy, advantage defense here because, as you suggested, the offense now needs to put it up in the air. And when you become predictable, it really does give a huge advantage to the defense. They can play pass all the way, and it makes things very, very difficult on the quarterback.
3rd and 5. The Leopards can ill afford to give this ball back again to Harvard. They need to get some points on the board. Down by 14. Curley rolls. He's going to get blitzed. Gets away from the blitz. Trying to run away. Trying to run around. He'll go down. Just getting back to the line of scrimmage at best. Tackled by Eric Schultz. Eric Schultz has been all over the place today.
I was just about to say, I am so impressed with the speed of Harvard's defense. It was a little understated, of course, overshadowed by their prolific passing game, but I have to tell you, these guys defensively from Harvard run all over the field. Rob Curley has pretty good foot speed. There you see the blitzing linebacker gets away from him, but watch the speed of the backside pursuit, and Rob Curley eventually just has nowhere to go.
John, I think they have to go for it. I don't think they can, with 4:53 on the clock, down a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, and Frank Tavani is down there talking to his offensive unit, so that pretty clearly seems to be the consensus.
My name is Jose.
So Rob Curley does jog back out on the field, a big 4th down play, and pretty safe to say that the balance of the game hangs on this 4th down play, if Lafayette is to make a comeback.
4th and 6. And we get a timeout called by Lafayette.
Timeout.
As the play clock had wound down to 2 seconds.
And Frank is saying something was wrong with the play clock. Boy, Frank's having a rough day today. I'm telling you, whatever can go wrong has gone wrong.
Again, we'll be back on the air next week. We're going to travel to New York City. That's always exciting because John drives. It's always fun.
That got us there just fine last time. I went the right way.
You did. I
did.
I like going through New York with you. You drive just like a New York taxi driver.
Listen, there could be some troopers watching, so you got to share. You got to share in the cost if I get caught, because the word is out now. And I'm a very good driver. If my wife is listening, please, I'm a good driver. Nobody complains you want me to drive every week.
What are the chances your wife is listening?
That's true. She hears me enough.
We'll be at Columbia next week. 12:30 is the start time for that ball game. And then we're on to Lynchburg, Virginia, 2 weeks from now. Lafayette's winning streak appears to be in danger. They have the 2nd longest winning streak, and that's going to be intercepted. As Matt Hansen has it, and Matt Hansen will get dragged down by Mo White. And that should pretty much close things out for Lafayette. They had come in with 6 straight wins, second only to Liberty, who had won 10 in a row, and tied with Prairie View A&M.
Well, again, Gary, when you've got to throw the ball, hold on right now. We're going to count these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, there are 7 guys. Harvard's only rushing 4. What that means is your window of opportunity in that secondary is absolutely nil. Rob Curley forced to squeeze the ball into an impossible space, and predictably, Harvard comes up with the interception.
Keeping the ball is Liam O'Hagan from Minnetonka, Minnesota. Liam O'Hagan, who saw quite a bit of action last year, carries the ball to the 15-yard line. And that's a gain of 6.
So now it's all about eating clock. I'm not sure that Tim Murphy is all that interested in putting more points on the board, although with Liam O'Hagan in the game, might want to give him some reps. some real-time opportunities.
Cheng Ho's going to get this rep.
You called it.
And there's Andy Romans. Andy Romans has played a strong football game today. He led everybody in tackles in the first half with 7 of them. We don't have the numbers yet here in the second half, but he's been involved in plenty of tackles.
Here he is right here. Nobody touches him, and you cannot expect to not block Andy Romans and not have him blow up a play. The second half, Gary, it's been a 3-0 Harvard game, and you got to tip your cap. Whatever John Luce said or adjustments he made during that halftime have been effective, but unfortunately the offense just couldn't get it cranked up against a very impressive Harvard defense.
3rd and 4. And O'Hagan looking to throw the ball. He will not. He'll run it to the right side and cut up inside, and he's got the first down. As Liam will get down to about the 8-yard line. Tackled on the play by Donald Ellis. Gain of 5.
Referees will wind the clock, and the question now becomes how much time can they run off? I suspect at some point Tim Murphy will take the knee if, in fact, he can run this clock out. I doubt that Lafayette would be interested in stopping it, certainly.
So it's 1st and goal to go from the 9-yard line for the Crimson. And Cheng Ho will take it down to about the 7-yard line. He'll pick up a couple. And Nigel Bryant, Mark Legiro in on the tackle.
Well, Gary, the last several weeks, even back into the end of last year, Lafayette finished with a 3 or 4 game winning streak. We've been treated to some outstanding football, and again, you got to tip your cap to Harvard. This is a quality football team. I'm not sure that Lafayette played their best football today. Harvard coming in off a stinging loss to Brown last week. They made some corrections. They turned the ball over a lot in the early going. They've obviously shored that up. They've played a completely clean football game, and the Leopard faithful a little disappointed, but don't be too disappointed because this is a quality Harvard team, and Lafayette will be back.
And again, O'Hagan keeps the football, and he's down to about the 2-yard line. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 2. And they use as much of the 40 seconds off the play clock as they can before they snap the football. And in actuality, they could take the knee now.
And I know Tim Murphy. I mean, Tim probably doesn't remember me, but we were both young assistants. Tim was here that first year in 1981 when it was my first year, and I know Tim, and I would not be surprised to see him just take that knee right now because, in fact, that's what he can do.
Not quite sure.
I'm not sure he wanted to take the knee.
He took a stumble.
He took a stomach.
He's going to say, let's just run the clock out. That's it. Game over.
An impressive road win for Harvard. Tim knew coming in here that this Lafayette football team was going to offer a stiff challenge, and give Harvard credit because they battled, they did what they had to do, and now they'll go back to the drawing board and get ready for the Columbia Lions next week in New York City.
They are indeed a good football team. They look solid today, 27-13. They'll certainly make a rush at that Ivy League title. They are the defending champions. Tim Murphy has 4 Ivy League championships. And as we mentioned, he started his coaching career right here at Lafayette. You can see the mutual respect those guys have for one another. When we come back, the post-game show presented by the Maroon Club. Stay with us.
What do you feel like having?
One sec, babe. Hey, Tina.
Excuse me, sorry. You have a phone call?
Surprise Squad. Surprise! It's the new Match 3 Scratcher from the Virginia Lottery with $20,000, $50,000 Virginia 529 college scholarships and a top prize of $20,000.
Because they play for pride, not contract extensions. Because the cheerleaders actually cheer. Because every game is a playoff game. Because even the halftime show makes the highlight reel. Because the chances of your team relocating are 0%. That's why you love college football. And that's why you watch Masson. Be there as Louisiana Monroe visits Arkansas State in a Sun Belt battle. Saturday at 7 p.m. on Masson. NFL myths. Myth. Whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game. Reality. The Giants had 36 turnovers and won the Super Bowl. Myth. The best place for Ravens postgame is the national networks. Reality.
The best Ravens postgame is on Masson.
Ravens Extra after every Ravens game.
Only on Masson. Be there.
Welcome back to the postgame show presented by the Maroon Club. Every gift matters every year. Join the Maroon Club today. Lafayette tastes defeat for the first time this season as they go down against a very good Harvard football team by a 27-13 score. And John, there's an old adage in football that if you play without turning the ball over, you've got a good chance of winning every game. And boy, Harvard played a clean football game in terms of turnovers.
Yeah, and football people use that adage, clean football game, no turnovers. After having turned it over 7 times in the first 2 games, you know that got Tim Murphy and his staff. It got their attention. They cleaned that up completely. And the other thing, Gary, is they did not allow any big plays at all. Lafayette had to work very, very hard. In fact, they had a 16-play drive that resulted in nothing at the end of it. So give Harvard credit. It was a heck of a football team. Frank Tavani's group, and he'll tell you, they probably did not play their best football. But this is a program still on the rise. A couple of very interesting games coming up in the next 2 weeks. Next week in New York City at Columbia, and the week following down at Lynchburg to play Liberty.
All right, here's Frank Tavani to talk about this tough, hard-hitting football game today. Here's Dan Mounty. Here's Frank.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. Head coach Frank Tavani, you warned us. This is a Harvard team that won the Ivy League last year, and they really didn't have anybody that they were missing from last year's team. They've got some incredible personnel. They really took it to Lafayette today.
Well, there's no question. You got to take your hat off to them. They played their best game, and we probably played our worst. But I was proud of the effort our kids came out in the second half. We could have just packed it in at halftime. We didn't make them punt. We finally made them punt the first series. But bottom line is that we were just trying to get, if we could have gotten a touchdown and got it within 8, I think, we certainly still had a shot. And the kids played hard to the end. But the thing that's going to concern us the most is the number of mistakes that we made that hurt ourselves. Hey, credit them. They played a great game, but we did way too many things on both sides of the ball that we haven't been doing. Now, did they make us do it? I don't know. I'll watch a film. But there are a lot of things that we did to ourselves, and that's the frustrating part.
1 week to recharge against your final Ivy League opponent. It'll be Columbia in New York City.
Well, that'll be another tough game. Columbia's playing everybody close. They darn near beat Towson, the scholarship school, so and we're on the road. So we got to regroup quickly and, come back and get it done.
All right, that's Frank Tavani, the head coach of the Lafayette Leopards. Now let's bring in some of our Coca-Cola players of the game. Thanks, Coach. We've got Sean Adair, who moved from 8th to 5th in all-time receiving for Lafayette. Congratulations on the personal mark. I know you traded all in for a win today, Sean.
Yeah, definitely would trade in. We tried our best. It didn't come up well enough, but we got to come back next week and keep playing hard.
You had a pretty good day personally. 7 receptions for 85 yards, including a touchdown. Let's take a look at this 22-yard gem from Curley to Adair in the second quarter, and a big catch it was. It helped Lafayette kind of climb out of the cellar a little bit. You went up 3-0. We're down 17-3, and this touchdown made it 17-10. Tell us about it.
Well, all week we were talking about number 4. He's a great, great player, and when we got him in press, I knew the ball's coming to me because it's cover 1. So I just tried to beat him down sideline, and Curley put it right where he needed to put it, and they'll execute.
This Harvard team brought in a pretty tough defense that really is one of the best in the Ivy League, if not in the nation. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges you guys saw out there today in the receiving corps.
Well, they're pretty physical, and just coming across the middle, you knew you had to watch out a little bit because the linebackers are headhunting for you and stuff. On a corner basis, their corner number 4, like I said before, is an awesome, awesome player. The safeties did a great job moving around to try to stop the deep pass and deep threat. Other than that, we just had to come out a little bit harder.
All right, that's Sean Adair moving up the ladder in career yardage and receiving. Congratulations on that, and good luck against Columbia next week.
Thank you very much.
All right. right, senior wide receiver. Let's turn to our defensive player of the game for Coca-Cola. This is Andy Romans, the senior captain and linebacker who covers most of that defense. Andy, these guys were a little tough. They had some good offensive schemes there, and even though they tried to focus on you, you still came up with 13 tackles today. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, well, you know, they obviously came out and they played real well. We didn't do what we wanted to do in the first half, and if we want to do the things we talk about as a defense all the time, obviously we're going to have to improve on this and get better for next week.
Tell us a little bit about Columbia. I know you haven't really looked at them as of yet, but another Ivy League team. It seems like you can't take anybody in the Ivy League lightly.
Yeah, we can't take anyone we play lightly. Obviously, I don't even know about Columbia yet. We haven't looked at that. We were focused on Harvard, but I'm sure we'll do the best we can. We'll come out ready to go next week and hopefully get better from this loss.
All right, spoken like a true captain. Andy Romans, number 17, Lafayette linebacker on defense. Now let's bring it back to Gary and John.
All right, Dan, thank you very much for another good day down on the sidelines. And now it's time to take a look at the highlights of today's football game. And that means I turn it over to my partner. Here's John Leone.
Yeah, and it's going to start off with an interception that wasn't. Here you go. This ball is headed out of bounds, and Frank Tavani will not spin this to his advantage. But immediately following that turnover, and again, the replay shows that the interceptor was clearly out of bounds. And unfortunately, it led to this play. A deep pass down the right sideline, and that is a 66-yard touchdown to Lufgren and Lordage. And there's the one-on-one touchdown pass to Sean Adair, Rob Curley, and Adair on the same page. The pitch played, Gino Gordon did a great job getting to the edge. Here's the field goal that cut the lead to 11 from Davis Rodriguez, 41 yards. Gary, again, in the second half, the score was 24-13 forever. Lafayette's defense ratcheted up a notch. I mean, these kids started coming, and they held this prolific Harvard offense to virtually nothing. A great hit right there by Marvin Clesidor. Continued blitzing by the Lafayette center. That was Chang Ho, who now busts what was the backbreaker for Lafayette. A 51-yard run that changed field position and really seemed to take the wind out of anything that Lafayette had left. It led to this long field goal that barely made the crossbar, and at that point it was a 2-touchdown game, and unfortunately, Gary, it was just something that Lafayette could not overcome.
Patrick Long with that field goal, and that was all the scoring in the second half, 27-13. Well, last week, Harvard's winning streak, which had been 8, was broken by Brown. This week, it's Lafayette, who had the second longest win streak in the nation, coming in with 6. That streak is now broken. Harvard has started a new one. Let's hope the Lafayette Leopards can start a new one next Saturday afternoon. 12:30, we'll be at Columbia to take on the Lions. There you have it, final score. Lafayette loses this one by a 27-13 score to Harvard. My thanks to Dan Mowdy, to John Leone, to Gavin McCutcheon for helping us with his spotting, Rick Eo, the RCN television team, and to all of you for spending time with us, our friends at Masson, our friends at WBBH Channel 60, and RCN television. We'll see all of you next week on the Lafayette Sports Network. I'm Gary Laubach. Goodbye, everybody.
Shriners Hospitals for Children offer some of the finest medical care in the world to kids with orthopedic problems or with severe burns, totally free of charge. There's a Shriners Hospital helping kids from this area. If you know a child the Shriners could help, call this number. Shriners, having fun and helping kids.
The show. 2 teams, 1 network.